about the game
Oh,
was
shit.
that
Hello. Salam alaikum, bitches. I pressed the button wrong. So here we are already. Hello, everyone. Greetings, comrades. I see there's activity in the chat already. Welcome back to panelists who weren't here last time. I'm just gonna we'll just ignore that whole intro thing that we was gonna do. I believe you can still do it. Let me turn my camera off. We'll pretend. I'll play the last few seconds of the opening credits again. And we'll go straight
We'll
in.
do it live.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. I need to turn myself off. How do I do that? This one.
Well, this is a better start than last week already, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, this is good.
yeah.
Fucking hell. That's when you were supposed to do the intro part. Alright, never mind. Let's just throw that in the bin. Fucking hell. How is everybody? Good weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, should I
great,
start
yeah.
here?
Are we live?
I think so.
Welcome to the Russian Troll Factory. I'm your announcer, Billy, and joining us this week, emerging from the fallout of poetic genius, it's Yan, the lyrical reactor that's always critical. His words are more radioactive than Berdyck's emails, and tonight he's ready to melt down the madness one rhyming couplet at a time. Brace yourselves for some plutonium-grade poetry.
Hello.
Next up at bat, it's Piper. She's hotter than a nuclear core on the verge of a meltdown and twice as volatile. It's Piper Steed, known for denoting social norms and going nuclear on trolls. Piper is here to expose the toxic waste dump that is Matthew B's ego. Warning, expect some fallout. Then our man from the shadows, Kenzo, with jokes so explosive they'd make Chernobyl blush. It's Kenzo with humor sharper than a Geiger counter spike. He's here to decontaminate the nonsense and turn radioactive drama into pure comedic energy. This week he's going straight for the core of the meltdown. Welcome, Kenzo.
Yeah, oi, bruv, in it.
And finally, our Commander-in-Chief, Commi3 Mark, and finally, the architect of the reactor of ridicule, the satirical superpower with jokes more toxic than Matt B's IMDb page. It's Commi3 Mark. Tonight, he's cracking open the containment chamber to expose the full-scale disaster that is Matthew's. Get ready for a show that's guaranteed to go critical.
Speaking of Critical Blast is not here in the chat. He's definitely not. The Don't Tell show says, I'm getting into the spirit of this live stream by hiding in a hedge, blathering my hair in chip oil and listening to Dream Theater. I almost don't know if he's talking about Matthew Berdyck or me. Matthew Berdyck joins us in the chat as well.
I came unprepared on his last name. I'm sorry. That's why I started switching to the
it's Berdyck.
Initial.
Berdyck.
So it's like if you say Berdyck really fast.
Yeah, yeah. You'll notice
It's more like Matthew been fucking. Am I right?
I doubt it.
So he's here in the chat already.
I don't know. I mean, ducks have proportionally extremely large penises, so I don't know if he's like waterfowl or.
No, he's in the hummingbird category.
Their tongues are so long that they wrap, when retracted, they wrap around the back of their skull.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see.
You know, if I was God, I would have. I would have given women tongues in their vaginas.
Come on, man.
The fuck would I want that for?
You
I
could
mean,
seal-
you know,
you
people
could
can like
seal-
reach up and like touch their nose with the tip
Billy,
of their tongue.
Billy,
Come
Billy,
on,
Billy.
imagine that, lady.
I agree. What a
Oh,
genius
okay.
idea! Like that's
We would never
probably
get anything done.
You could seal. You could also seal 2 envelopes at once.
Right.
I can already do that.
You would redefine French kissing.
Yeah. So Matthew Berdyck in the chat says he won't be attending. Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for coming along, letting us know that you
Yeah,
won't be
mem-
here.
Remember to leave a dislike on the video. Yeah, he's here a lot. Going back and forwards with the Don't Tell show. Piper's here, obviously. You guys can't see when I'm putting the things up on the screen for the viewers, innit? Because, you know, they see a different feed from what you're seeing. Matthew says, okay, folks, logging off. I don't want to be bored to death, so enjoy your schizoid revenge fantasy while I go get a pizza and relax. Good night. Yeah, man. See you in
night,
like
man.
I'm
5.
sure he's not watching on his phone while
You
driving
got
in the
kicked
car.
out. You got kicked out of the McDonald's.
It's got to drive to the next one. Maiden Hell's here, says, hail comrades, hello. Memes of Destruction says, hey guys, what's going on? Brian Crisco's here in the chat, come to find out what's going on. Tree Goblin as well, hello to you. Brian says, I only just learned about this fool the other day. Yeah, so I don't know. I know that some of our panelists weren't here last week and on up to date on the drama. Like, certainly not as much as me and Piper. Like, we've been like right in the heart of it. Like this week, like it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll go over that a little bit before we get into the main show.
So, do we need to like fill people in? Like, how do you do that fast?
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
what I've done is I've got an explainer here prepared by AIOC to catch everyone up on it, and as we go through this week's video, obviously ask questions. Like, if you don't know them, we'll try and like fill them in like as best as we can. You guys are gonna function as the POV characters for the audience. And... Okay, so here's AIOC's take.
Last episode revealed the shocking escalation of Matthew Berdyck's unhinged behavior, with Commi3 Mark now squarely in his crosshairs. Berdyck, a self-proclaimed filmmaker and activist, spiraled from a public meltdown at an IHOP where he falsely claimed discrimination to allegedly threatening nuclear terrorism. That's right. After storming into the restaurant, picking fights, and accusing people of hate crimes, Berdyck's tantrum turned into a campaign of email threats aimed at disrupting entire cities, even targeting nuclear facilities to demand FBI attention. Now he's turned his chaotic energy toward Mark, spamming threats and wild accusations while bragging about his delusional achievements. From toxic waste exposés to deranged harassment campaigns, Berdyck has proven he'll go to disturbing lengths to feed his ego. For Mark, this is no ordinary troll. It's a full-blown disaster waiting to happen.
Oh no, I'm so scared. All right, that was a pretty.
So he went into a pancake establishment
Correct.
and was turned away for some reason, and in retaliation threatened nuclear strikes, literally, for his method of retribution upon this pancake house
Threatened to blow up a nuclear power plant.
So,
because of a pancake house
well,
incident.
hang on. Let me defend him for a moment. There are a few more steps in between. But
Oh, I
there
mean,
is-
I would assume, yeah. I'm just giving the back of the DVD box synopsis.
There's a very straight line that you can draw from the IHOP incident to the nuclear terrorism.
Wow.
That's why we were saying SJW terrorist and it
Right.
That's
I
what
have
it
Man.
a
is.
question very quickly. Was the pancake house near the reactor, or
I think it was what, in the same city?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Wow.
I don't know because I have the IQ of a rock, which is one
That's
of
right.
many.
But he went into this pancake house and picked a fight with a table of like whatever derogatory thing he was calling Trump supporters at the moment. And then
Hillbillies.
when they reacted to it, then he said their reaction was a hate crime.
It's a story about a man that went into an IHOP that normally sleeps in a McDonald's that has gone out for a pizza, and one night his choice was Five Guys.
that's
Almost forgot about that part.
Yes, those of you that weren't here last week will not get that joke.
placement?
Oh, and he lives in an SUV.
Oh
He
yeah.
we
gets
have
very
a rat
upset
here?
if you call it a van, except when he calls it a van.
Oh, so when he said he's going to get a pizza, he really hasn't left his home.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So he's still home watching us technically.
He's just now driving as well, so he can't type.
Right.
Official Matthew Berdyck in the chat says, "Get on with it. McDonald's doesn't let me use their Wi-Fi all day."
Nice. I believe like you have to at least buy a small fry every 3 hours in order to use the Wi-Fi. So, I mean, at least your panhandling levels are low at that point.
Yeah. It's cheaper than a pizza.
Yeah. Especially one from Five Guys.
Oh, it's 15 people watching already, and we haven't even really started. We're still like in the preamble part or whatever.
I thought,
Yeah, it looks like
Personally,
he's got so many questions. Like I cannot wait to answer them all.
Oh, you know what? That's true. The channel is still up. Remember when he was going to go tell his uncle or friend or whatever at YouTube on you?
Yeah, his uncle who works at Nintendo. That one.
Yeah, his uncle that works at Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Henry Thrun is here. Hail to Henry.
Dollars to Donuts, his girlfriend in Canada is watching right now too.
You know it. The Don't Tell show says he's probably causing a kerfuffle in a Pizza Hut right now. Wonder if he'll come out of this one with a brand new sexuality as well. Yeah, so in the IHOP incident, some quote-unquote hillbillies called him queer, like, which he viewed as a hate crime.
They didn't even call him that. They asked him if he was.
Hey man, are you queer?
Oh,
And
Billy,
they
you've
also
seen it?
asked if he was a cigarette.
Yeah, they did up it to F slurs after that.
maybe they were a group of gay people and they wanted him to join their club.
Right.
Possibly.
They had a friend that they thought that he would fit well with, and they were just checking, before they passed on his phone number.
One of the complaints that he was making about our stream last week was that we didn't show the full version of the IHOP incident, that we only showed the edited version that the director of the documentary about him made. And I will say right now, because you're going to ask this question, the director of the documentary, his name is Peter John Ross, right? And he is going to come up a lot because Matthew thinks that everybody who thinks that he's crazy is somehow being fooled by this documentary. Like, it's not the insane internet spurgery and the threats to kill people and sue them and hunt them down and stuff that make people think that he's crazy. It's this fat
Well,
egg
I mean, to be
documentary
fair,
man.
I would be very skeptical of anyone whose both first and middle names were euphemisms for a bell end. It's just waiting for a last name change to make the trifecta of triple dick. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
Peter Johnson, Jesus Christ.
Bit,
What was it? What was it?
That's
Dick
just a
Roger.
porn. That's just a porn name.
his name's Peter John Ross, and like I said, he'll come up a lot. Sometimes he'll be called Peter, sometimes he'll be called Ross. Like Matthew Berdyck links everything back to this one guy. Okay, any further question before we get to the first slide?
No, let's move on. We're all
Jan's had enough of it already. Let's just move on.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it was 1 week ago that we done the stream, right? And you can see that it got 6,900 views, right? Which takes it straight away to the most viewed video on my channel. And this is a live stream, and live streams perform worse than videos on it. Like so, it's the equivalent of like a much bigger video if I made a video, right? And you can also see.
Nuclear
Pardon?
or nuclear.
Yeah.
One of those.
Okay, so that happened, and during the show, like I kept checking in occasionally to find out how many people were watching, you know, to see how long we was going to go for. And there was pretty consistently like 30, 40 people in there. And like that's not standard, but we've done that before, like loads of times. Like that's not outside the realms of possibility. So when I ended the show, and we had originally like 2,000 views, like straight off the bat, it was like, oh, that's surprising. Like the 40 people for that long didn't feel like thousands, and and Matthew Berdyck says, as we can all see, thanks to me, Mark has traffic on his channel for the first time in years. Without me, he's nothing. And then once again, Ross, the director, uses others to fight his battles because he's a coward, always brings a gang with him. So Matthew Berdyck originally was claiming responsibility for this increase of views, and it saying it's because we were talking about a real artist for the first time. That's why we was getting so much traction, using his name, and it like that's why the video did so well. Where massively outperformed the other videos.
Oh, he's an artist as well?
Allegedly, we'll get to that as well.
He's a musician and a sorry.
Okay. Oh, I mean, just the lore is building. It's like waffle enjoyer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, nuclear aficionado.
Wagyu steak peddler.
queer.
Oh yeah, Wagyu steak dealer as well. That's one of
Yep.
his.
Wagyu steak dealer, artist. I mean,
There's a rumor that he may be a potential boat owner.
potential boat owner.
A potential former boat owner, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
formal boat.
Nautical enthusiast. Yeah, no, like this is. It makes me remember when Prince changed his name to the symbol.
Yeah.
It's like we need to give this guy. It's just like, oh man, you know, like it would look like partly like a nuclear symbol maybe on top, but then it would have a stick that crosses with like a little bird's dick.
Yeah.
Goes through
And
it or something like
five
that.
penises.
Yeah, five penises, and then like a paintbrush, like a little flourish the opposite way.
Cool. Okay, so we had all these extra views, and it was I was curious to learn how he did that, how like he managed to take our average sort of stream and make it so widely viewed in it, and as well so widely disliked. Like look at this for ratio in it. Like this is crazy. Like
Oh, dude, this is a clear except like this is why the Sith always win, you guys. Like see, like this is a clear light side, dark side poll. Yeah.
So the only possible explanation must be that all these people have come from Matthew Berdyck's audience. You know, they're all his homeboys or whatever, and he's come, sent them all to dislike the video or whatever.
Which is crazy because I couldn't find any proof that he has a single friend.
No, yeah, that's very true.
All of his friends ended up being him.
Yeah, he has a lot of accounts, as we saw on Twitter this week, which as well, we'll get into that. There's so much.
Yeah. Oh man, let the hate flow.
Tree Goblin in the chat says Matthew Spurgin in the chat was gripping. It was amazing last week because he just replied to everything that we said in it. Like it was hilarious. Okay, so huge extra views.
Oh, wait, are we supposed to be pretending to not find enjoyment in this? Man, let me see. Sorry. Are we supposed to pretend that we're not enjoying this?
No.
I think I was supposed to pretend to be scared of him finding me, but I couldn't stop laughing. You know how I am.
All right.
None of this bothers
Just
him.
check it.
He's
Oh,
unaffected.
good.
Nothing
Thank
he
God.
can do.
Oh, yeah. Hey, buddy, we're just taking the piss. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we get like thousands of extra views, hundreds of extra dislikes. Like they're obviously being sent from his channel, or that he has 114 alt accounts or something like that. So I really wanted to
Would
know
not
how,
be surprised, but
Is that a lot?
I mean, you could pay a third world bot farm for 100 engagements for
True.
probably less than $1.
Well, so I actually know the answer, and I'm bluffing, like about how and why, like it happened. So, because you can just look in the analytics and it, like, and you can find this information, like where stuff's come from, and you can see that 2,000 of them, the extra 2,000 views, like came from an external link in it, like so usually that number would be like more similar to these numbers or whatever, and it goes further in that you can see more specifically where they came from. Usually most of them would be from Twitter, because you know that's where we are, like when we do the tweets and stuff.
I'm telling you.
But this time you can see that they're all from like, 4chan and stuff.
Sorry.
So that's like
I know, right?
suspicious. Like
Even the top two, it's like actually the top three. One from 4chan, one from Raichu Chan, and then
this
last one
one
from
does-
P-Chan.
even number 4 has a Chan in the name. Like,
I do like 4 plebs.
yeah,
yeah, that's you guys on the show. That is Commi3 Mark and the 4 plebs.
4 plebs and a... That's got to be the new name for the show, isn't it? 4 plebs and a commie.
All plebs are the communists.
The aristocrat and the proletariat.
I lost my drink for a moment. I got confused by that because I haven't moved off the spot. It was like, how did I? But you know, stupid as a rock and I like. So yeah, you can see that all of the traffic came from 4chan, which is suspicious because you know now I was starting to doubt this idea that Matthew Berdyck had sent all of the traffic from his like massive Facebook empire or whatever. The Don't Tell show says that Matthew Berdyck is still here in the chat. Like, they can still tag him, like, so he's clearly still there.
Of course. Well, I mean,
I was about to.
We established he didn't leave his house to go get food. He's bringing his house to
To
go
the
get
food.
That's true. So, you know, I'm quite good at, like, internet stuff, you know, being a troll or whatever. So it wasn't that difficult to find the actual, like, 4chan post, like, that he done, like, to send those people to dislike the video. You can see that he says, Jake Bros, tonight's victory is going to be so sweet, blah, 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 bad boxing. And then it's got links to the stream that we did about him with, you know, saying this is a full stream of the fight, because we did the stream on the same night as the Tyson fight, like, so this is how he was directing traffic to us. And then
Also
obviously,
explain some of the chat
Oh, so
every
like,
now and then.
so basically,
Yeah,
he
like
created propaganda. He created propaganda to just pump views to the show.
so that he could pretend that it was popular because we were talking about Matthew Berdyck rather than because he'd done this. But also at the
He
same
tricked
time,
people.
so send all of those people to, you know,
Wait, can we read those comments really quick? Just so if people
Oh,
that
they're
actually
not about
bother.
us at all. It's about the fight.
Oh, because that last one was really good. Like, I totally thought it was directed towards us. It said, I smell unemployment in here.
Oh, yeah,
No,
that one.
those are.
So these are people who showed up on the day in the chat,
Yes.
like whose comments we were like, what the fuck are these people?
We were so confused, yeah, why they were saying.
ET says, stop shilling your commie stream as a bootleg Tyson versus Paul stream. Sean Bond 93 says, man, I thought this was going to be a Rickroll. He knows what I'm saying. And ET, the extraterrestrial, is saying, smells like unemployment in here. I'm out. Stop shilling your shit stream on 4chan.
So,
It all made sense finally.
Freaking hilarious.
So that's how he did that. I wonder if he's gonna do like a trick like that again, like, and if he's already done it, like, and it's too late to undo it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be funny for those people to arrive to an explanation, like, of what happened last week, like, that they just fell for again. Right, what have we got next? There's so much to get through. Yeah, as you can see, the traffic came from him. We just demonstrated that that's false. Like, I cannot prove that Matthew Berdyck posted that on 4chan, but who else would have? Like, do you know what I mean? To deliberately send people there to dislike it, they're automatically going to dislike because they're expecting the Tyson fight in it.
But that's,
Like,
that's engagement. That's
I know, I don't mind. Like, it still counts, don't it? Like,
Yep.
I want to know how long they watched for before they were like, you know what? I don't think there is going to be a boxing match on this.
well, I can tell you that the answer to that question is 38 seconds. Like, so they actually stuck around for like quite a lot longer than I would expect. And
You just have
I can see in the analytics since the show ended that we actually lost 10 dislikes like in that time. So that means that 10 people must have gone back and undisliked it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's one possibility, or it could have been a reactionary boo, and then within the time it took for them to hit the thumbs down button and then maybe take their hand off their mouse, something was said that interested them to where they watched longer and then undid the thumbs down.
You talked them round, Mark.
Yeah, that's a
maybe.
possibility.
Alright, so the stream ends. Straight away, we get this comment, like on the YouTube video. It says, I just want everyone to know Matthew wasn't on the last 2 hours of this stream, so he was never actually offered a chance to appear. They were pretending he was still on the channel. So, at the end of the last episode, we'd gone through all of the content that I'd compiled, like, to go through. There was still loads of people in the chat, like, and I said to him, come on, like, you can come on, like, and defend yourself. And he was still arguing in the chat, like, and we gave him plenty of time, and he didn't say that he wanted to come on, so we didn't let him on. And now this account says, actually, he wasn't even there.
Actually.
Right? Which is, I mean, how would this random other account know that he wasn't even there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unless he was also in the van with him. And then you'll also notice that this account is also called Matt. Like, so it's another Matt, like Matt Film 6919.
I want to know who thumbs up it.
Do you think that Matt is also a filmmaker, or just he watches?
I'm
Just
sure
happens to
he's
be.
a boat owner.
Well, so what's interesting with this one is if you click through, like, to the account that's claiming to speak, claiming to have a knowledge of Matthew Berdyck's movements and actions and stuff, if you click through, you can see that they have, like, 3 videos of their own. They're all of Matthew Berdyck, like, there's 2 of him doing some pretty sick shreds, like, on these guitars or whatever, and then
He's a good guitar.
Matt wasn't even there. The artist formerly known as Matt was totally there.
I really like that there's one video here that says, are you frustrated with losers harassing Matthew Berdyck? And that's from 5 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, did we lose Mark?
Official Matthew Berdyck in the chat says it's a completely different Matt. Yeah, so this totally not suspicious Matthew Burdick fan account appears.
That could be anyone.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it could be. Yeah, you're totally right. And then the real Matthew Burdick says, "I want."
What, the real official or the real?
Matthew A. Burdick, yeah. He says, I just want to let Commi3 Mark know that I'm in the middle of exposing the single largest federal and media corruption scandal in US history. This is Assange, Snowden, Brockovich level shit, and he can go and fuck off and die. And then there's a picture of like a nuclear explosion or whatever.
Damn, look who he just compared you to. Holy shit. He thinks you're Aaron Brockovich. You were once played by Academy Award winning actress.
He's got an obsession with Aaron Brockovich, and he's one of the people that he tagged into the email that he sent to the FBI threatening like the nuclear terrorism stuff. Like, and yeah, isn't it hilarious to include Aaron Brockovich alongside Assange and Snowden? Like, they're the same thing. Like,
Well, I mean, dude, like I said, Julia Roberts portrayed her in movie form. How could you not? Like, you keep muting, Mark.
Do I?
Well, she played a prostitute in
hearing
Pretty Woman. And Matthew was also a prostitute while he was homeless.
That is
so there's kind of a link there.
That is allegedly correct. Yeah, that's one of the things that we covered.
Allegedly, factually correct.
Well, he says he is. So.
Oh, Okay.
And he's known for his honesty and truth.
Okay,
So we're gonna.
I didn't. That's yeah, I didn't realize that.
Oh, Mr. Solomon's here in the chat. He says, I see the resemblance. I assume he means between Assange, Snowden, Brockovich, like, you know, the big names of exposing media corruption.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, what have we got? Oh, yeah, so, point is, this is the tweet that he put out after the show. Like, this basically says, I'm too busy to deal with you. Like, I've got a far more important life. Like, and then he disappears, right? We don't see him for ages, which brings us on to the first of the Twitter spaces that he recorded about us and how much he's not bothered, like about the episode.
Yeah, how
that
much
we
you don't
did.
care.
He really isn't. He's unaffected.
Yeah, because he doesn't mind. Yeah. So let's get on to this. Why was Commi3 easily defeated by Matthew Berdyck?
A different account too.
Yeah, I just realised
Oh.
maybe we should have switched these slides round. So he disappeared. He disappeared and then reappeared on another account instead of Matthew A. Berdyck, just at Matthew Berdyck this time, wearing my face, pretending to be Commi3 in it, like. Which, you know, I'm sure he thought was like some epic troll or whatever, but we've seen that 1,000 times. That's like a classic war campaign move, and it like to do a fake account. Like, in fact, he's not even doing it properly. Like, he didn't even change his at. Like, if you change the at, then you can make like fake screenshots and do all kinds of stuff in it. Like, but he didn't do any of that. All right, so this space that we're going to watch now comes from that account and from the fake Commi3 account.
Just remember that one started out pretending that he was a Matthew Berdyck fan.
Yeah.
Is there
Well, I
going to
mean,
be a?
that's what I thought was the person that said that he wasn't there in chat too. Those are people that were just
Yeah, it's all his fans that happen to also be named Matthew Berdyck.
his sick riffs.
Is there going to be a campaign for this new Commi3 and the Arse of Poop comic?
Oh, we're going to get to that. Like, I've got a whole segment for that. Like, don't worry.
God. His comics, yeah.
I just
I'd
realised.
back that. I would back that. Just for the record.
Same.
Good. I just realised I didn't share the sound with you, and now that's going to look fucking fucked to everyone watching the show while I fix it. Okay, let me know if you cannot hear this. Like, let me know soon, within seconds, please.
Can you hear this, Matthew?
I've been invited to record this space.
Could you hear it?
I've been invited.
Yeah.
It is very,
very low.
very low.
That's okay. Let me
Extremely
turn
low.
up the sound on that. Let me just play it so I can see which one's bars move, so I know which one gets in.
I've been invited to record this space.
Okay, that one. Where do you? That one. Let's put it on 200. Oh, I just realised that's going to be louder for the people watching, but not for you. Let's put subtitles on as well. That might help.
Yeah.
Was easily defeated.
Oh yeah, so he started with, I've been invited to record this space because this isn't him, remember, this is someone else's account, like a Matthew Berdyck fan account, like who's just loaning him his platform.
The Matt fan account invited Matt to host the space that the Matt fan account is hosting.
Some guy at the shelter, like, invited me.
Doorknobs are fun in the chat says he sent hundreds of threats to Aaron Brockovich. And Peter John Ross is here in the chat as well. He says, has Matthew posted? He said earlier he was not going to watch this one at all. Yeah, he was here at the start, definitely. And
His name still pops up.
yeah, is still lurking. Okay, so here we go. Why was Commi3 Mark easily defeated?
I've been invited to record this space. Commi Mark was easily defeated because I'm actually who I say I am. And so I'm not actually a troll.
Okay, so that's the first important thing. Not actually a troll, like, even though he was claiming to be the troll king, like, 7 days ago. Now he's not even a troll.
So attacking me the way that you would attack a troll doesn't really work on me. So that means if you're going to target me, you have to do something credible. It has to look dignified. It has to look legitimate. So unfortunately for Commi Mark, he's used to having these battles with these actual internet trolls. But I'm still a signed national news videographer. I'm still...
Oh yeah, so he's a signed national news videographer, apparently. So he just drives around like recording car crashes and stuff and then trying to sell them to the media. In the chat, the Peter John Ross says, defeated? What does that even mean? Is this a game? What are the rules? Who keeps score?
You're coming through also like stadium echoey or whatever, Mark.
Oh, that's not good. Alright, I'll mute myself while I play this for a moment.
A journalist. I'm still an activist. And the goofier and crazier and more extreme these attacks look, the less effective they are, essentially. I know Mark isn't going to understand that because he's a fucking idiot, basically. He's some child. You know, he's the...
I love like how quickly did you feel like the escalation like then. That's funny.
Product of a generation of people that grew up on the internet that think that someone like me, Gen X, is going to give a shit if I get dragged. That's sort of the first problem that they have, is that I've been being dragged for like 12 years, so why would it be something that would hurt me now all of a sudden? And then again, I am a journalist, I am an activist, and I am a filmmaker. So for an attack to work on me, it has to come from a credible source, and it can't be abusive, and it can't punch down, and it can't be people laughing at me and mocking me, because nobody in the audience that I have is going to take that seriously.
His audience that he definitely totally has.
You're allowed to. I mean, in his defense, you're allowed to give yourself titles. Like, I mean, if you film yourself fucking, you're a porn star.
That's clear terms of engagement.
You know, if you've at least taken the trash out from your home at least once in your life, you've worked in waste management before.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So.
Yeah, so I agree with that, and I think it's better for the narrative if he actually is a journalist for the mainstream news, like, and actually is an activist. Like, that's a better story. Like, so I'm happy to see all of those
filmmaker.
things.
Don't forget filmmaker.
Oh yeah, filmmaker. That's the one that he's the most proud of. Maybe the toxic waste one.
I've made plenty of films.
Me too.
No, like when you're a kid, you know, I
was gonna say I've been making films since I was like 5.
Yeah, I remember like filming like my first like kung fu movie with me and my friends, you know, and we were using one of those old school VHS camcorders.
Yep. Yeah.
You kind of put it on your shoulder a little bit, you know. It was kind of large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Be more then, Billy, for a minute, but
I could hear you. We can.
Yeah, I could hear you right then. Yeah.
All right. Can you still hear this?
So we're talking about just an entirely different kind of battle here. Mark didn't figure out that social media monster really is just a big troll, except for Peter's gone out of his way to make it look like a credible troll, because Peter knows to attack me, it has to be dignified, it has to be respectful, it has to come from what appears to be a credible source, and that this animalistic, you know, people mocking and laughing and pointing and ha 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 and all of that doesn't have the kind of effect on someone like me that it would have on an actual real troll.
Yeah, so because he's not a troll, we have to attack him respectfully, because that's the only way that's going to convince his audience. And now he's saying that... So
I respect the shit out of him. Isn't he a
Same.
self-proclaimed shooter, like mass shooter?
Yeah.
Like, to
No,
say
he's
that
the-
openly is
I
Oh,
don't
he
see.
proudly said something about he made somebody delete themselves.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's really proud of that one.
He's a powerful guy, you know, like he's you need to understand, you know, if you're the the self-proclaimed king of trolls, right, doesn't mean you have to be a troll yourself to rule over the rest of the trolls, you know. It just means that he's in charge and the rest of them will do his bidding willingly, man. So you have to be you have to be
he's more like Saruman. And he's not like
Yeah.
he's not like head orc. He's like no, I'm like yeah.
he's above being a troll. You have to be dignified in in your attacks towards such a formidable opponent.
He's the head wizard.
So if I have to,
If you had the IQ of a rock, I can understand how you'd miss that. But
The problem with his spaces is that they are so goddamn boring for real.
the major issue with them is he talks in them.
Yeah. And it's always only him. It's only him talking to himself.
Well, I mean, but he was invited there, so they're giving him his space to.
Yeah, no, we're
speak.
lucky. We're lucky to have that he was invited. Otherwise, we wouldn't be honored to listen.
I'm very grateful that he took time out of his busy schedule exposing, his. Man, I'm fucking retarded today. Something about Aaron Brockovich. Write your own jokes.
Yeah. Something Aaron Brockovich, right?
This is just like a
Somebody
proclamation.
poisoning the well, Aaron.
Well, the problem is, yeah, he doesn't. He just sits there and talks. Like spaces, I'm used to them being like people talking to each other about a topic. And he just sits there and talks forever and gets repetitive over and over, and it's just like so boring.
He uses them like voice notes, like
Yeah.
terrible.
It's Wednesdays, my dudes.
Results are, I would say,
Oh, this is the part where he rates our attack.
have the kind of effect on someone like me that it would have on an actual real troll. So if I have to sort of rate this attack from Commi Mark and what the results are, I would say it's probably, as this account already published, it's probably the weakest, most unoriginal, most ineffective attack that I've ever endured, because these fucking idiots can't possibly accept that Peter was attacking me in the same way 10 years ago.
I absolutely can accept that. Like, I totally believe that people have been treating him like this for 10 years. Like, I'm sure that that's true. Like, I have no
You
doubt.
said you were unoriginal. I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, well, it's his opinion.
It's just like your opinion, man.
You can only call someone a cunt in so many different ways.
People do always say, don't they, like, oh, Commi Mark, he's just like everybody else.
I mean, I have heard that in circles.
So there's not much of a point in like going point by point in anything that he said in their narrative. Because
There's
honestly,
not much
no
of a
one's gonna look at
point
what that
of going point by everything that he says in the narrative. He says that. Tomorrow, the next day's space is going
my
to be that
favorite
exact thing.
Same, right? No. What kills me about this though is he keeps going, well, all they did was repeat all the BS of Ross's stuff. Like, it's unoriginal. It's like, that's what a reaction is. You're reacting to the stuff that somebody else did or said. Like, what else did you expect?
And like, I'm sure that Matthew Berdyck, the stories that we covered last week are old news because they happened to him 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. But for our audience, that's brand new information, isn't it? Like, they didn't know any of that.
No.
Yeah, it was unoriginal. All he did was repeat the same. Now, like, no shit. We're sharing this shit.
He's already debunked all of this.
Yeah, and it's all available on his website and nowhere else. There's a few more people in the chat. Born of Pirates is here as well. Hello, greetings. Demon Vizarakas showing up. He says he's definitely bitter with not getting a hug. Last week he kept offering him hugs, and that was a thing. Yeah, cool.
Got a point. Changing the time frame 6 years ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. That's true too.
Okay.
Video is, and they're not going to take it seriously. And so you have to remember that if you want to fight a guy like me, you have to fight effectively. You can't just clown around and do stupid shit, because honestly, I don't give a fuck. And I think that's...
He doesn't care. That's a recurring theme. And that's one of the
He
reasons
doesn't give
why...
a fuck so hard that he had to freaking make a space.
I mean, and then ask one of his other Matt buddies to inform everybody that he wasn't there to watch it.
Yeah, and then there was all the stuff he was saying in the chat the whole time, but he didn't care. He doesn't care.
And use Jake Paul as like a ploy to like get people to engage with the content.
Yeah.
I kind of believe him, man, when he says he don't give a fuck.
He
No, I
doesn't,
mean, he
doesn't care so damn hard, dude.
No, but for
So
someone
hard.
who has to take a shit in bushes and like wash their hair in the creek, like an ineffective attack from Commi3 Mark is going to be the least of your worries, surely.
Those poor fish.
Oh, I mean, for whatever his reason is that he drives his house around with him, we'll call it. I guess that's the circumstance I'll say that he's in. I mean, that's never fun.
I mean, who hasn't pooped in a bush? You know?
Yeah.
But,
don't even go there.
No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about those days anymore.
I mean, I've pooped in my fair
Fair
amount of bushes.
Some of the best poops I've ever had were on fishing trips.
Matthew doesn't give a fuck about ineffectual, unoriginal attacks, which is one of the reasons why I don't mind doing this. I don't feel bad, because he doesn't mind. He's laughing along, like it's not affecting him in any way. Like
we're all having fun.
Yeah, we shouldn't feel bad.
I cannot possibly shame this guy, a Gen Xer. Like, he's used to getting dragged on the internet. It's happened for 12 years or whatever, or 20 years or however long.
I made my first email account in 1996. I still use it.
Oh, it's 1996.
It's my Hotmail account.
Mine was an AOL, and I think it was like 95.
Nice. Do you still use
Careful,
it?
guys.
No.
The super master hacker and doxer Matthew Berdyck will be able to trace you now because you told him what year your email was created.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I use a very widely used email suffix. Yep.
You know, I think it would probably hurt Commi3 Mark's feelings really bad to get dragged, and it would hurt these other people's feelings really bad to get dragged.
It's like he just suggested they would hurt my feelings for someone to drag me on the internet. It's like,
Are you okay, bro?
Here comes the projection. He's just like, yeah, but I bet you'd feel bad because you know.
Yeah, I don't care, but I bet you'd be.
I bet you would feel bad.
Our friendships are built on a mutual like digging of each other like all the time. Like that's how bonds were
Honestly,
originally
what
made.
I think is that, like, Mark, you and me are probably the closest thing he's ever had to friends.
Someone consistent in his life. Well, no, that's Peter, isn't it?
Peter's his
the one
BFF.
who's been there the whole time. Yeah, that's his soulmate. Winchell has arrived as well. He says the super famous Matthew Berdyck is still going after the world threat, Commi3 Mark. Apparently so. Well, no, he's quit now. But we're covering the last week of him not caring.
Yeah.
Thousands of responses.
And I think that they're projecting that onto me, when in fact, I mean, I've been being dragged all over the United States for over a decade, so you'd have to ask, why would somebody now think that making memes about me or doing live videos and laughing at me, oh, he's gay. I'm a grandfather. I'm almost 50 years old. Why do I give a shit what any of these people think about me?
Shouldn't. Like, we're meaningless. Like, don't worry about it.
What I'm laughing about mostly is just that there was all this bluster and it was all this, we're going to get him and I'm going to tear him down and I'm going to give him a taste of his own medicine.
He brings this up a couple of times, right? That I made this joke where I said, I said, Matthew Berdyck refuses to take his prescriptions, like, and I can't guarantee that he'll swallow, but this week I'm gonna at least make him taste his medicine, like, and the joke is, take your medicine, bro, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and he has this idea that I'm trying to defeat him. Why? Like,
Yeah.
I've
He
discovered.
already defeated you like 7 days ago.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes from defeating
Easily.
him to getting revenge on him. I was like, what is that about? Revenge for what?
If in real life, yeah, imagine that I discover a cow, an actual cow, that has infinite milk, right?
Yeah.
And he thinks
What, is this
step
real?
one.
Is this real?
No, it's a metaphor, bro.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The point is, you're not gonna kill your infinite milk cow on the first day. Like, there's infinite milk. Like, what a stupid thing to say. Like, I'm obviously not. I don't want to defeat him. Like, I need him to continue.
Does this
to
mean
flail.
the cow will live forever then? Or is it just that the amount of milk is infinite?
The milk
I believe
is
it's
infinite.
the amount of
yeah.
milk. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Solomon in the chat says the infinite milk glitch. That's what we've discovered. Like, oh, Peter in the chat says, I do think Matthew has a fantasy that he and I are friends in a way, that insults and threats are like we're childhood buddies. Maybe. Alright, let's carry on.
And then it never came. I've noticed with people like Commi3 Mark and his friends and people that entirely exist on the internet that they tend to drastically over-exaggerate the emotional distress they're inflicting. So even if you're sitting there laughing and you're laughing at them and you're thinking that they're funny, they're
He thinks that we're funny. You know, because
Yeah.
it's gonna
Which
consist.
is weird because it contradicts the we're boring part. Like, which one is it?
And
Funny in a boring way.
Yeah. He says that, we're inflicting emotional distress on him, but at the same time, he's laughing, everything's funny, like, we have no impact on him at all. Like, the story of Matthew Berdyck is nothing more than a story of contradictions, like, which you'll
imagining
see.
that you're hurting. They're imagining that you're suffering, and it's weird in certain ways because you're just sitting there eating popcorn, like, just fascinated by the fact that these people exist, that fucking weirdo people like this exist on the internet.
I don't wish
And as far as
suffering on
me being
anyone.
almost 50 years old, I have a hard time understanding it. I don't
I
know where
forgot
it
what I
comes
was
from.
gonna say.
Like, for example, my son isn't a real big internet dweller. He's 28 years old. He's not raised him in the real
Cool.
world. So he didn't spend his failure to understand how to defeat me. All he did was create a video that can now be used as a piece of evidence against Mr. Ross in a court of law.
So I wasn't able to defeat him because I didn't understand how to defeat him, and all that I've done is create more evidence for him to use. So you're welcome. We didn't hurt his feelings. He's not bothered about it. Like, he thought that it was quite funny, and we've helped him in his case. So win-win all round, and it like, how could anyone be
Right?
upset?
All he did
Brian in the chat says, we're used to dealing with people with personality disorders in this scene, but I think this fellow is genuinely severely mentally ill. I'm suspecting bipolar. Certainly not well, like, that's for sure.
Sure.
I'm suspecting pathological liar personally, but
did was create a video which looks stupid and Looks like a bunch of people just shitting on me, which is the worst way to attack a guy like me. And so I guess until, Commi Mark steps his game up, it's permanent ignore.
I'm on permanent ignore. This is day one, remember?
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. No, don't say it. He's like, don't make me hit the button of permanent ignore.
Sadly. I was
He's
hoping
probably
for something, he was he was making all
got
these
you
promises
muted.
that I was going to...
Tree Goblin in the chat says, try lithium. Maths.
I was going to get a taste of my own medicine, but I didn't get a taste of anything. I just basically watched a bunch of idiots launch the most weakest, ineffective, and pointless attack that I've ever experienced. And it's also maybe like the 1,000th time that I've been attacked in the same way. So a lot of these people...
What attack?
Don't worry, it was the weakest one that he's ever experienced, like, out of thousands.
All sort of carbon copy,
It was so weak we weren't even trying, and we managed to do it.
Undignified.
It was animalistic because we were laughing and pointing and saying, ha ha, he's gay.
I'll do the same thing. I'm going to make memes about him, and I'm going to make a live video, and we're going to laugh and point. I'm an old man. You would think that they would realize there's an age difference here, but they don't.
You're an old
And you'd think they would
man
realize
talking
there's
to
generational difference
yourself
here as well,
for
but they don't. And you'd think that
Ever.
if they were really going to target me and they were going to try to hurt me in
about
some way,
somebody
that they would
else.
try to do it in a way that was impactful, that would actually hurt me, but they didn't. And so here we are. I'm declaring victory over Commi Mark.
Can we see how many
and
people
I'm
actually
basically
listen to this?
establishing that in my career,
We can
18.
deduct the times that you watched. Check what it said. 18.
Did
Wow.
somebody ask a question at the beginning of this video, and this is the answer?
No, that's the thing. Absolutely nobody says anything, and I'm suspecting that they're all sock accounts.
Yeah, the person that invited him there remains anonymous.
No, obviously it's Commi Mark, see?
Hmm.
The one that's host.
Doorknobs are fun in the chat says, I think Berdyck's a legit psychopath. Not saying that to be insulting. He's honestly the most unhinged person I've ever encountered.
Well, I don't know.
Seems fair to me.
That's a bit. That's a bit much. That's a bit too much credit.
I once spent the weekend with Commi Mark.
That's true.
Had
Winchell
somebody
says,
on the internet send me pictures of them posing with a knife because they thought that I would be into that.
That wasn't me.
That was pretty psycho to me.
Winchell in the chat says that Matthew Berdyck's channel has 1.36k subs. He's even more famous than Elasmat the Shadow Band. Watch out. So, be careful, guys. Tree Goblin says, Matthew issued death threats last week. He definitely cares. Yeah, in the chat, it was throwing out threats of violence in the chat, like, so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get somebody to beat up Commi Mark for him.
A criminal.
Yeah.
It would be easy to pay a criminal to do such a thing, apparently.
Yeah.
of the thousands and thousands
Well,
of
the
people
problem
who
is the
got
joke's on
arrested,
him because a criminal in the UK now is somebody who sends out a mean tweet. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now you guys got a bunch of our celebrities that have fled over there, so you're welcome for Ellen and a few others.
Yeah, thanks
Have
for
fun with that.
Yeah.
So you can get locked up for an opinion now over here.
America sending us Ellen is revenge for James Corden, isn't it?
And we did send them Prince Harry as well. So kind of deserve it.
were fired off at me. Commi Mark is the weakest, most ineffective, and softest opponent that I've ever had. It's sad. It's like me, Mike Tyson, fighting a baby, and I knew it was going to be like that. He'll never be smart enough to know how to really attack me.
Oh.
And so I never have to worry about him ever again. So from this day forward, Commi
Mike
Mark gets permanent
Tyson
ignore.
lost in that
And
fight,
it's
yeah.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but-
like-
I was gonna say Mike Tyson did fight a baby. And
yeah,
he
and he
lost.
lost.
Commi Mark
Commi
is
Mark.
kind of the Jake Paul of like the communist movement.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Without the
pretend
money.
that's a compliment. Like,
Or the house.
Simply because he's boring, he's unoriginal, and he has absolutely no ability to harm me, especially with the type of attack that he's using right
You're a
now.
maverick.
I definitely have no ability to harm him. Is correct about that.
In fact, all he's actually doing is giving me a much stronger case against Peter John Ross. So when you see me sitting there laughing and saying, "Are you guys really serious with this?" I'm laughing because all of this is admissible in court against Mr. Ross.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously telling the truth about my story, and Mr. Ross has just spent 12 years. and he
Except
knew-
I haven't seen him sitting there laughing anywhere.
No.
He should have got an AI to ask him questions so it appeared more that he was invited.
like
there to speak.
yeah, engaging some yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
It's pretty easy.
You see me sitting here laughing. Like I don't see shit. You're talking and you're talking and not laughing. So
Demon Vizirac.
I mean, that's how the government does it. You know, like with the moon landing and stuff. It's like you want to get somebody to believe something. There's got to be a full production quality to it. It can't just be one man talking. He could have easily gotten like Morgan Freeman to ask him the questions. I think with some websites, you know, depending on the AI voice you want to use. You know.
I don't know. People on the internet are stupid. Like I believed Commi Mark about that infinite milk thing for a minute. I was down. Although I think, to be fair, a chicken that laid infinite eggs would be more useful to me. I spend more money on eggs than I do milk.
Well, chickens kind of do lay infinite.
You can trade.
yeah, as long as they're alive, you usually get eggs.
You can trade milk for eggs.
Wow.
Bloody capitalist.
Well, so you don't just have to get them from the store.
I don't believe in the moon memes. It's not real.
I'm gonna press play and then I'm gonna go to the toilet. Then I should be back in time. But if I don't, carry on talking. And don't ruin my channel. Like, I don't want to come back and find that we've been deleted from YouTube.
And Matthew finally got a hold of his friend in YouTube.
As soon as I go to the toilet, he'll appear in the chat again. Like, Alright, here you go.
That people, you know, he knows what people expect control, so he assigned those things.
I'm just going to put it back to normal speed, so I've got more time.
What is the kind of stuff that can get you...
Oh, so 5 more time? That's what's up.
God.
To me,
it's 44 seconds.
So he can scam everybody. And so the other part of me is laughing about the fact that Commi Mark fell for it.
His other
all these parts of him are laughing, and I don't hear any laughing.
They're all different personalities.
Thing that he did, which ultimately at the end of the day served no purpose whatsoever, and just yet another.
Yeah, Peter Ross.
He's the director of the
to make me more
documentary about Matthew's incidents.
What a bunch of babies!
What a bunch of babies! I say to myself while recording it.
Yeah. This guy's a very interesting fellow.
It's not the craziest recording I've heard from a vehicle. Yeah. There's much crazier ones on the internet if you would like to find them. I will say that.
Oh, that's right, because he had to have recorded that in his home studio.
Yeah. It was sped up, and it still felt like it took an hour.
Yeah.
That's what I tried to listen to. You know, he did one while I was
like at the park or something, right?
Well, I was clearly like in bed sleeping. He did one that I guess
he found a way of making like 3 sentences last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I tried to go back and listen to it because you know, when I woke up and actually finally got on the X, I was told, "Hey, he called you out in a space." But it was very obvious you were in bed. So I tried to go back and listen to it. And it's just the exact same thing as the one we just freaking heard.
Well, that's not quite accurate, because the one where he calls you out, he directly addresses the criticisms in the in it that we made. Like, so it's going to work well to...
I more meant the feeling of trying to listen to it. like I sped it up 2x and I still didn't make it all the way through it because I was like,
Damn. I didn't
Bruh.
realize that was sped up either. I thought that you were playing it at normal speed, and I already thought it felt kind of slow.
exactly. I sped it up as much as you could trying to listen to mine, I guess. And it was like,
Today, Grandpa.
yeah, I get it. You're old.
Jeez.
Yeah, people in the chat can't believe it either. Yeah, alright, cool. So, that he done that to show us how easily Commi3 Mark was defeated, how much his feelings were not hurt by what we did. The weakest, most ineffectual attack that he's ever seen.
And you're on ignore.
Flaccid.
Uh-huh.
It was
Permanent
soft.
ignore.
Yes, flaccid, yeah. So then
The ineffectual.
he disappears off of Twitter on his main account. And, you know, now we're dealing with this sock account that he's wearing my face in. Like,
But pretending he's when he's not pretending he's Mark, he's pretending he's Matthew's biggest fan.
Yeah.
To be fair, he is, but only fan.
so he declared to the world that he was me. He says, I'm announcing a new comic book, Commi3 Mark and the Ass of Poop. It's one man's journey to eat poop ass set against the Russian invasion of Poland in 1938.
To be fair, Mark, this does sound like one of the ideas you would throw out as an idea and then go, maybe not.
This is also he did finally show his comic that's way better than anything we could possibly do.
We will get to
I
that
didn't
as
know
well.
poop
like,
Okay.
had asses.
Pardon?
I didn't realize that poop had asses. I mean, the ass of poop.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
that the poop has asses. So that's quite odd. I don't know if that's meant to be some subversive thing.
You wouldn't get
The
it,
ass-
Italy,
It's
because
high art, and we are too
Usually the
stupid to
poop
get
of
it.
Asses. Yeah.
I do like that you used the word set against, though. That's nice.
well,
Classy.
we are about to witness some of his writing skills now, because we're gonna look at this book, Commi3 Mark and the Ass of Poop, that he made. Like, that's a
Wait,
thing.
really?
Have you did John Maylan? So I know John Maylan's doing that competition for
yeah.
comic books to review.
Oh,
So this is his, when he was pretending to be me. This is like his profile. You can see that he didn't get around to changing this part, like or his website, like so that's pretty dumb. Like, it's obviously him, because so as well, he called himself Commi3 Mark, right? And
Comedy
yeah,
Mark,
comedy.
if he had called himself Con-Me Mark, that would be better. Like,
That would've been
that's
clever.
a better joke. Like,
But that is something that he is definitely not.
no. I mean, yes, he's got an IQ of 180. Remember, like,
Oh.
That's-
Wait, where did that come from?
because he said that.
Oh.
He said that
Oh.
I have
It's
the
true.
IQ of a rock, and he has an IQ of 180. That he's in the top 4% of Americans for
Oh, he's like,
intelligence.
so he's
or
like
whatever.
Professor X and shit.
Yeah, and then later he tried to pretend like he didn't say that, and that Peter Ross made him say that or some shit.
4% of Americans have got an IQ of 180 and above.
Does
They're
that
all
sound right,
homeless.
does it?
That's very impressive.
There must be a lot of idiots dragging the average all the way down to where it is.
360 million Americans, roughly.
Well, according to Matthew Berdyck, there's 300 million Americans. Like, that's what he said last week.
Damn.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the fake profile that he made. So he started going after me and Piper, and it, like, here's one on Piper saying, Piper, you should have stayed far. Piper should have stayed far away, because when she zoomed in, good God, woman, your eyebrows are drawn on with crayons. Shivers. So that was a recurring thing, like, they kept bringing up the eyebrow
Apparently,
jokes.
that's the only thing that he can come up with. For me, as like I guess a comeback
Maybe
is
it's reverse psychology. Maybe he has a mobile eyebrow station that he uses as a side hustle.
add on this thing like eyebrow microblader or something.
Yeah, he's also a master makeup artist. Like, I'm sure that's on
Yep.
his list of things. Alright, so... Oh, this is a tweet that he done as well. Saying, that weird moment when you realise he's fired off all his guns, has no ammo left, and that you walk away laughing. And he shared this screenshot of his YouTube analytics. That says in the last 28 days he got 2.1 million views and 15,000 watch hours.
Wow.
But you know, that's easy to check. Like, so I just went to Social Blade, like, and checked if that was true. And these figures are the all-time figures. So this is like a composite image on it, like of the all-time figures with the last 28.
You can see that channel analytics in 28 days is a bit sharper text than the rest. Like, it's been kind of replaced in there.
Demon Vizorak in the chat says, how many people does this guy have on his enemies list? And is it the same list that he thinks are his friends? He certainly thinks that all of his enemies are friends. Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, while we've been discussing the Matthew Berdyck drama, we have been gaining new friends who are previous victims of Matthew Berdyck, like this guy in the chat, RNG Gaming, Peter Ross, obviously, like you know, other ones as well. This guy, I think, you know, so that's good. Door Knobs Off and says, Berdyck lied about his credentials? No way.
That's why I drew on my shocked eyebrows.
All right. Oh, yeah. So, when he was pretending to not be Matthew Berdyck, and that his older tweet hadn't done it, his old account, his main account hadn't done any tweets, I kept saying, where is Matthew Berdyck?
Because you're on permanent ignore.
Yeah, well, he was ignoring the whole world because he didn't tweet anyone for 7 days off that account. So every time...
His phone fell in the river.
Maybe. The point is that when he was pretending to not be Matthew Berdyck, I was holding him to that, innit? Like, any time that he slipped up and said I instead of we or he, or, you know, any time that he failed at the pronoun game, I'd be like, oh, are you really Matthew Berdyck? Okay, so let's move on to the ass of poop. Billy, if you don't mind, this is totally going to be your domain. I can do this one. Russia didn't invade Poland in 1938. Doesn't matter. Commi3 Mark has invented a lack of prerequisite education machine. He has one goal: eat Joseph Stalin's poop ass, or Europe will pay $10 on Venmo. All right. Oh, fucking hell, so much. One man must use his genius to rewrite history and eat Joseph Stalin's 1938 poop ass. Historically accurate or not. Coming soon. Commi3 Mark and the ass of poop. Copyright Critical Poop Ass Publishing, Arkansas. And then tags Comic Skate in there as well. Which, when he was pretending to be me, he kept doing that in it, like... replying to
Tagging
big
Comic
CG
Skate.
accounts saying I eat poop ass and stuff like that, like which I think I mean this is this book that I'm about to show you, Commi Mark and the Ass of Poop, like it made me laugh. Like it's funny stuff, and the people in CG that he was trying to like trigger into responding, they're also so used to this idea of fake accounts pretending to be members of the community that nobody bit it like at all. Like,
Well, I mean, and the other thing is, like, once he changes his name back to his normal name, won't, like, retroactively all these tweets just have his name at the top of them?
well, so that kind of has happened, like, in the meantime, but we'll explain that when we get there. Right, so here we go. Would you read
Wow,
this
he's
first?
made a lot of shit. Holy crap.
He's a accredited high quality comic artist
He doesn't.
and writer.
For a guy who doesn't care, this is quite the effort. And
He put some effort in and not caring.
Where can we back?
Gosh.
Well, remember, this is not him. This is his
Yeah,
fan
so-
pretending to be Mark, not caring.
All of this.
Oh, what? Mark didn't write this.
that ending line is just a gut puncher.
So I'll be Commi Mark, I guess. Like Billy, you do the rest, I guess.
Okay.
You good? Yeah.
Okay.
Bring me your 1938 poop ass, Stalin.
The invasion of Poland doesn't happen until next year. His lack of prerequisite education machine has struck again.
Alright, good. Can he do it? Can he give Joseph Stalin's poop ass the old Lenin lick? Or will Europe be forced to instant transfer $11.23 from their Bank of Missouri debit card plus fees? Yes, he can.
That's
You
a
will,
pretty good joke right there.
you will
He
pay.
put some decent effort into not caring.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
And like you can tell that he went away like and looked at my comics in it, because this is like meant to be like best career in it, like very obviously. You will pay $10 Venmo, poop ass delicious 1938. Poop ass is the opiate of the masses.
This seems gay. If I wasn't eating poop ass is gay, then I don't want to be straight, Val. Oh, he's supposed to be Russian. I'm doing the wrong accent. Vladikov.
He crept up behind Stalin, aching for a tiny taste. But Stalin had other plans for Commi Mark. For Commi Mark couldn't have known that the Nazis from 1941 had sewn a Jew's eyes on the back of his 1938 poop ass. Oh, there it is. As Commi Mark approached, Stalin jumped from the chair.
Oh my god! What is this?
His recently transplanted from 1941 Jew eyes fixated on our poop-ass protagonist, halts, leaving Commi Mark stunned, outsmarted and modestly distant. Outsmarted by modestly distant 3.5 years from now Nazis who vowed to end all 1938 poop-ass eating.
Wait, and is that Russian right there? Or
Mhm.
what is that?
Just make a fart sound.
Oktoberka. This guy's pretty creative.
This is good, isn't it? But this isn't Matthew
Yeah.
Berdyck, remember. This is Matthew Berdyck's fan. Matthew Berdyck's fan
Yeah.
is very creative. Matthew Berdyck is a serious journalist.
Oh, this isn't. Oh, okay, right. This isn't him. This is very creative.
Uh-huh. I would almost be interested in publishing this, like, almost.
I could see this as like an ash can for one of your campaigns, Mark. I could,
An ass can.
That's bad.
Give the poor dude
Why
some
did
money. Does he have a crowdfund link for this guy? Not yet.
He will though. He's done crowdfunds before. He did a crowdfund to buy a new van, right? Which he raised $2,000 for. And then, guess what van he bought with the money? One that was exactly the same as the van that he already had, which is in
What are the chances of
no
that?
way suspicious. Like,
Well, you know,
Identical, huh?
don't you?
the news of Commi Mark's poop ass arrest spread globally. It's you, Billy.
Billy.
It's just in. Commi Mark has been arrested. See as 1938 Stalin's poop ass advanced from 1939 with allied 1941 Nazis waging a unified front to stop the extortion of $10 Venmo from Russia. Ironically, it was Mark that was licked.
Now you're
Okay,
Stalin.
comrades, an attempt to lick 1938 poop ass was made by Commi Mark. Underestimated Mother Russia. It was my ass that licked him. That's a good one. God, so many. Also, we destroyed his lack of prerequisite education machine, and now he spent an entire year in Gulag in less than 24 hours.
I spent an entire year in the Gulag in less than 24 hours. That's pretty
how
impressive.
time works in
That's
Russia.
amazing.
In Russia, you spend the entire year in 24 hours.
As Commi Mark did time, Gulag life was thug as fuck, right? And he was ordered to do many unpleasant things against his will until one day.
Kick the shit out of him! Correction! Lick the shit out of him!
So dumb.
Oh my
Out
God.
of the
Keeps
ocean, out of the ocean, what was previously thought by many to be an American U-48 submersible, Piper's adventure emerged, set on freeing Commi Mark from the Gulag, just as he was finally scoring some mean poop ass. And then this is Piper, apparently, with a really long eyebrows.
This is hilarious.
But remember, guys, if we got dragged on the internet, we would have our feelings really hurt. And
You guys, I'm so bummed that I wasn't here for the initial scolding of him, and I didn't get to have memes made of.
Yeah, you didn't get to be in the story.
Oh fuck!
Well, there's always next week.
Oh, good, Piper.
So Piper, he was going for you as well, like this week. Here's a comment they made about Piper.
Oh my God!
Do you want to read this one, Billy?
God, fuck. But the eyebrow thing would drive me crazy. Bitch old Randy McNally, 39th parallel elections, drawing a flight path to Korea, then laughs at people like you couldn't circumnavigate. You couldn't circumnavigate. Navigate the earth on her forehead if you drew a few continents on her face.
To be fair, I always struggle to navigate things.
Yeah, circumnavigate, navigate. On her forehead if you drew a few continents on her face.
This is where later he gets called on that, where he insisted that he was gay, and he was like, "No, I'm bi now." I turned him bi, guys.
I'm bi
Good
now.
luck.
That's what I imagine he talks like.
You've heard what he talks like.
Yeah, he does not talk interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Demon Vizorak from the chat asks, how long did he spend on this admission of love, Mark? That book, it took him probably 6 to 8 hours, like, to do all of those tweets, I reckon. Like,
Are you
they
serious?
came
Wow.
quite slowly over the day, yeah. But, you know, that's the most impressed that I've been, like, so far in it. Like, he tried to do meme war, like, back, and it was fine. Like, it was quite funny. Like, I got some laughs out of it.
Right?
How is he homeless with that kind of product efficiency?
A Demon Vizorak says he's bipolar. That's a good joke. Like,
I'm bipolar.
And this is all post defeating you easily. So basically, he's just kicking you while you're down at this point.
yeah. While I'm on permanent ignore.
Yeah. Because that wasn't Matthew's. That's not Matthew's account, even though it says Matthew Berdyck.
Uh-huh.
It's not actually him. What she really did was make a video saying a mission was to destroy a guy's career and hurt a few 100,000 cancer victims in the process who never heard of her. Piper, you disgust me.
Wow.
Why are you trying to hurt?
Terrible person.
Why are you trying
You're
to
a
hurt
cancel
cancer
pig.
victims?
Yeah, that was my first time learning about what my mission was, and I don't like it. I don't know who gave me that mission, but I think I'm gonna quit.
A few 100,000.
That's crazy, Piper. Like,
You 100,000 cancer victims who've
I
never
know,
heard
but
of
you
me.
had
I have
one
never heard of them either.
67,000 people that you've hurt.
I guess it was my eyebrows hurt them. Was his
Jeez.
what he was trying to say?
Yeah, but what is a few 100,000 Americans out of 300 million?
You
True.
didn't say American cancer.
Call
Victor.
that a tri-million.
I don't know where the video is actually,
Really?
where I that I made saying that my mission was to destroy a guy's career and all this other shit. He
And
was
can
he was
also-
not able to provide that to me.
And can he also prove that out of those close to 300,000 cancer victims, that none of them knew you?
True. He needs to interview every single one.
That's a very interesting part as well. Like, that to him, what's important is being known, like, by the people in it. Like, why would you tack that onto the end? Like, that doesn't make it, like, a worse thing. Like, I don't get it.
Right?
On that previous comment that I was just showing, the one where he said they would fuck you. Doorknobs Are Fun says there's a strange thing for a gay man to say. Remember, he's actually gay. Remember, according to him, that's why.
Bipolar.
Yeah,
He's good at it too. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, stop hurting cancer victims, Piper. Like that's.
But that's my mission. I don't know what happens to me if I don't complete it.
You get sent to the 40th parallel instead of the 39th. So
You into a cyborg and wipe your memories. Force you to do missions with.
I get to spend a year in the gulag for 24 hours.
You spend year in Gulag for 24 hours.
How is the mission going to destroy his career? By the way.
I'm a bipolar filmmaker.
Well, I've already turned him bi, so there's that. That will destroy a little bit of his career of trying to blame hate
Be a
crimes on people.
bipolar filmmaker.
Winchell,
He's an activist. He's an activist too.
Winchell in the chat says Matthew Berdyck's filmmaking career helps a few 100,000 cancer victims, and he does it all without licking Stalin's poop ass. Thank you, Doorknobs Are Fun, for subscribing. Thank you very much. All right, what's next? Oh, this is him saying, pretending not to be him. Remember, like this is his friend.
Yeah.
Like he says,
Not really. I'll just ask Matthew. He can dox anyone as Peter.
Oh, that's where, yeah, he was telling me Matthew's gonna get me. He's gonna find me and he's gonna get me for realsies.
That's how this all started 12 years ago. He doxed a bunch of Antifa trolls, called it Google food.
Yeah, I heard he invented that phrase.
So yeah,
He's practically a Wachowski.
he's been.
He also invented the internet.
Oh, here you go. Here's the next one as well.
Once we track you down, you can watch it in court, but your lawyer reviews the racketeering allegations that got Peter canceled, for which you've made yourselves all accessory.
Oh no.
So
Yep.
by
Laughing.
He's gonna hunt you down. He's gonna sue you, and then he'd probably fuck you as well. Like if that's on the table. Like.
All John Continents on the forehead.
I fucking can't. Woo! I cry every time. It's very emotional.
All right. This is why you haven't succeeded. And I'm the one being talked about, not you. I've got the resources to help all of you, but you just keep shitting on me. Which was one of the times when I was like, you mean shitting on Matthew Berdyck? You're not Matthew Berdyck. Right? I think... Yeah, so now he's obsessed with Piper and it at this point in the story. Like, we're entering like the second day of since the video came out. The audio on this one is going to be a bit louder because someone who wasn't me recorded it, and we'll turn the speed up as well because of reasons.
Proof of my claim.
He answers questions from trolls, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the last video when he said, there's no point in going through point by point and explaining everything that they addressed. That's what this is. Like when he gets to that part, he's going to ramble around for a while before he gets there.
Hey there, this is Matt. And someone has just said that facts can be proven and that I have failed to prove 95% of my claims. But the problem with that statement is that
filmmaker.
Yeah, that was Piper that said that. And I said that was very generous because I don't think he can prove 99% of his claims. Like, and you gave him like way more leeway than I was going to.
He talks for 27 minutes?
Yeah, he answers questions for that long from nobody.
Winchell says in the chat, I'm going to hunt you down and take your poop ass to court. Matthew Berdyck, 180 IQ.
nobody ever asked me for any proof of my claims. And the only source that exists on the entire planet that I have never proven any of my claims is one Mr. Peter John Ross, who also says I'm not an activist, journalist, or filmmaker when all of the evidence is on my website. So my New York Times leaks are there, ABC News pieces, TV pilots, music videos for rock stars, thousands of travel photos from around the United States, photos of me with celebrities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my website is designed.
How does photos of you with celebrities, like, prove that you're a journalist and active? And he keeps saying the evidence is on
can't you just
my...
pay for backstage passes and have your picture taken with the celebrity, like, or a musician?
Well, we're pretty sure.
I mean, isn't that an actual consumer product that any of us can enjoy?
Last week he was claiming to have been discovered by Sergio Aragonés, you know, the Mad magazine guy, and presented
with his
a picture
award-winning comic.
With his award-winning comic, yeah, that we'll get to. Like, that's a whole bit.
really to prove most of my claims for anybody that's got logical reasoning skills. And so what I have are a bunch of trolls right now who have made all these allegations against me. But the thing that's interesting is they never contacted me. They never said, hey, wait a minute, we want to know your side of the story first before we just jump on this and start targeting you. And they never did that. And so the next thing that happens is they just start attacking. And this Commi3 Mark guy posts this crazy fucking blog saying that I threatened to blow up a nuclear power plant. Did you know that there's actually no proof that that ever happened? And so what's interesting is there's an irony here is that Mr. Ross has never proven.
So, Peter John Ross, the director, did a Freedom of Information request to the FBI and it to like get the files like from the interview. So you know the something happened.
It's crazy how this Peter Ross manages to have like anything at all he can use to produce as proof, and Matthew has. Go look what I wrote about myself.
Yeah.
As his proof.
Trust me, bro.
Dude, trust me. Yeah.
Outside of Matthew Berdyck's website, anywhere that you see him on the internet, everyone underneath is saying, "The fuck are you bullshitting about?" Like, nobody believes him about anything.
95% of his claims, and there's not a single media article out there which proves anything that he says about me in this movie. He just waves around a bunch of bullshit. This big pile of what he says is evidence, whether it's real or not. It says, I proved my story.
So
and you have people like Commi3 Mark and the...
Go on.
Because Matthew's blog doesn't mention any of this stuff, that means that there is no source.
Well, to defend him again, like I haven't been able to find like a third party source that this really happened, like outside of Peter John Ross's the emails to the FBI, like, and the Freedom of Information requests and that. There are no media articles about it, but that, you know, it didn't actually blow up a nuclear facility. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't arrested on the site, or, you know, it's not really a news event, like, that someone threatened to do that. Maybe. I don't know.
This Piper lady who, maybe they're not that smart. Maybe they're not that bright. Maybe
we're not that smart.
Yeah.
Piper lady.
The Piper lady. Piper lady, no smart.
The Piper lady sounds like she works at the bakery or whatever. Like,
Yeah, drives a magic school bus.
But she's not that bright.
it doesn't take much to convince them of things. Maybe
Don't put your kids on
but
that.
for some reason,
bus.
what's interesting the most to remember is that
in a poop ass.
they don't need proof of anything Peter says, but they need proof of every word that I say. So they don't hold him to the same standard. Now
So here, he's complaining that, you know, everyone questions what he's saying, and then nobody questions what Peter's saying. Maybe because he's got, like, all the screenshots, like, and the videos, like, and everything, like, maybe that's why.
that's been going on since this movie went into production, and since he's been doing interviews. And so in cases where people have contacted me, they give Ross these softball questions. What was it like to make a movie? You know, what was it like to travel and get an award? And then they come to me and like, how do you answer this out?
So whenever people interview the director...
I'd be like, what's it like to be you, bro? Cool.
He's saying that Peter John Ross always gets easy softball questions, like, to answer about him. So my challenge to Matthew Berdyck right here is to give me some questions to ask him when we interview him on the show next week, like, at this same time.
Yeah, hardball.
Like, tell me specifically what it is that he's refusing to answer, and we'll ask him, like, we'll find out all about it, like, you know, send me the questions, I'll ask him, like, in person, you can watch.
Allegation. And so Ross has never held to any standard of actual scrutiny.
We'll do that for you.
So was that like a sneak preview? Was that the first announcement you're making of your formal invitation to him to come on the show?
Yeah, it's already arranged. Like, he's coming on next week. Like, so sending you questions, I guess.
And then I'm asked to prove every single second of my entire life. And And so we're talking about something that's extremely unfair here. And so then what Russ does is he makes people doubt what I'm saying. And so what I've laughed about for many years is I just tell the truth. So I'm sitting there saying, you know, these are the facts. And then Peter is so good at fucking with people's heads. He's a master manipulator. He's a master con man. It's the only thing I'll give him credit for. He's so good at fucking with people's heads that he makes them raise into question literally everything I say, but they don't fucking question anything that he says. And
It's not because of this guy that people question what you say. It's because it's obvious gibberish. Like, that's why. Like, I keep
And the
saying,
fact that he contradicts himself in his answers all the time. Like,
even, like I keep saying, even if everything that Matthew Berdyck says is true, and Peter John Ross is like the greatest mind troll like ever, Matthew Berdyck's still saying that he's gonna hunt us down and kill us and stuff. Like, so you're definitely a psycho. Like, because of that part, that's totally outside of the documentary. Like, you look at your behavior, bro.
and they never look any deeper. And then a little bit beyond that is the fact that he bulldozes in about 60 million pieces of information that nobody can take the time to confirm all of that. That's part of his scam, is overwhelming people with all these crazy records and unrelated things and initial police reports and investigations that were already discredited and et cetera, et cetera.
He's got so much evidence that that's a bad thing.
So I actually logged out of their video about an hour before. I got bored with what they...
Okay, so this is him again claiming that he wasn't there at the end.
supposedly log all the way out.
Like, you can literally go back and watch the stream, and the live chat's still up. Like, so you can see him replying, like, in the last hour. It's dumb.
Yeah, he's chatting in there the whole time.
It just, I mean, all they're doing is just pointing and laughing at me, and it was stupid. So why would I sit there and not have respect for myself and allow people to treat me that way? So I just logged out. Well, apparently after I logged out, they pretended for an entire hour that I was still in this conversation, and they started calling me out. They started calling me a pussy. They started saying, are you going to show up? Are you going to defend yourself? So right now, we are live, and this Piper has been going back and forth with me, and I'm calling her out. She just basically said, 95% of what you said, you have provided no evidence, and I want to hear her tell me to my face in a real-time conversation, what is it that I have not managed to prove in all of this?
Go on then, Piper. What hasn't he managed to prove?
Everything he's told me so far. Like, oh, man.
What I love about...
Including he's going to find me. He hasn't even proven that. He
Can't find me, son.
What, like...
Well, I think...
So, at this point,
Sorry.
he's already saying, I'm going to find you, I'm going to dox you, I'm going to sue you, and I'll probably fuck you as well. Like, and then he's like, come on my show.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
why don't you
he
just
won't.
come
He
back?
hasn't proven any of those things. Some I'm okay with him not proving, personally.
Walked around continents under 40.
Demon Vizirac says, one thing is certain, he's barking at the moon, and the moon isn't even in the sky.
I'd also like her to answer to me exactly what her role is in all of this, that somehow I owe her proof. Second of all, like, why is, you know, there's things about my personal life in here. Why is my personal life any of her business, you know? But I'll sit here and I'll wait patiently
Well, I thought he
for
had
these
a
people to
website,
log in.
though.
They said he's a pussy.
Right?
So, I mean, his personal life is, I mean, at least in a huge part is he once made public knowledge. So,
Wait, I was going to say, I was asking him to prove the things that he was typing at me. He made it my business when he told it to me.
It's so dumb, isn't it? Like, who are you to question the things that I'm
It's not even
telling
your
you?
business. Well, then keep it to yourself.
He's triggered that we called him a pussy as well. Like, which I was thinking about. Like, I don't remember saying that, but it does make sense that we would have. Like, because we were quoting would have been quoting the IHOP video because he was calling those men pussies on it. Like,
Yeah.
whilst I wouldn't normally have said that in this context, I might have like as a callback. So I'm gonna let that.
That's
slide.
actually
I'll give it
Demon
a pass.
Vizirac. He finally showed a comic. I was like, there's your 5%.
So he's gonna talk about that comic stuff in this chat as well.
Pussy, just like he was
Yeah,
afraid
I
of those
didn't
3
make
men
it
at the
this far.
IHOP, and they laughed and laughed. And so I want to see if they log in now, and they have anything to say to me.
Also, so this is like hours and hours after the show, and it like the time that this is happening, I'm already at work like the next day, and it. Like,
I'm in bed.
and
Right? I am sleeping. It was like, what, like 4 in the morning or some shit for me? 3 in the morning?
No,
that
was
sounds
this
about right.
was this conducted on Twitter?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a Twitter space thing. But it was like really obvious that I hadn't tweeted anything for hours and hours because I was obviously sleeping.
Where was the previous recording from that he did posted on?
Also on Twitter, like they're
Okay.
all on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I was never actually afraid to appear in their video. I just didn't
He definitely was.
know that they were asking me to appear in the video because I logged out, and they just arbitrarily decided that I didn't do that.
He
But
was
if anybody
there.
realizes, the fucking fights were on, and I logged out and started watching all the boxing matches, which is obvious if you look at my Facebook profile that I was watching boxing.
You can find that. It's obvious if you look at his 4chan profile that he was watching the boxing. Like,
For most of that, which is why you don't hold a fucking live video during the goddamn Mike Tyson fight.
it wasn't during the fight.
So we're waiting and waiting and waiting,
Yeah.
calling this woman out. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. She sat there, she laughed at me, she had all this stuff to say. Commi Mark had all this stuff to say, and we're waiting for them to show up.
It's waiting for us.
I mean, he waits a long time. He's a trooper, but I was fucking sleeping. And
So in the meantime, while we're
this
waiting,
stream was not during the fight.
let's examine.
Well Hung and Dunk says, "Hello, comrades. Remember, it's not grape if you call it a struggle session." I cannot endorse that message.
Some of this. Some of the stuff that they're saying. She says, how much of this is BS and how much of this is real? Well, pretty much most of what Peter says is BS. And then the entertainment that I get out of most of this, honestly, is the fact that I don't have to troll people. So I can sit there and say, well, I made a show for Cartoon Network's Adult Swim. And everybody breaks out laughing, but I did. So then you sit there with
Like,
But he didn't.
We wasn't laughing about him pitching a show to Adult Swim. Like, we was laughing.
I was
because-
laughing that he thought he made it.
He should pitch the Commi Mark's Poo Pass one to Adult Swim. I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Well Hung and Dunk says, I'm unclear. Was he waiting? Yeah, so he'd done a space while everyone was asleep or at work, and called us all out without tagging anyone like in it to say, I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So I would have had to sat on his page on Twitter and seen that he was doing a space and then try to get in there because I don't follow him either. So I have to go search for that space.
Like, I only found this one because somebody shared it on Kiwi Farms, because the Kiwi Farms thread on Matthew Berdyck that he claims was deleted because Kiwi Farms was so scared of him, it's been like reignited. There's people like sharing stuff in there again, like so that's good.
when you're me and you're like, what are they laughing about? That's weird. And you try to figure out why would they laugh about that, you know? You got all these artists and they're looking for all these opportunities and they're trying to do things with their careers. I think it's pretty clear that I've got some pretty damn solid connections in the industry, especially
It certainly doesn't have any connections in the comic book industry.
different types of jobs for artists in relation to the film industry. Yet what are they doing? Shitting on a guy who may have opportunities for them.
The fuck was that?
Was that an elephant?
It did sound like an elephant, yeah. He's saying,
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
He's saying here, what,
will you get your elephant under control, please, mate?
That's why I had to go off camera to sort the elephant out.
Ian's like, that's what I think about all this.
Gypsy funerals and elephants, man. What a Friday night.
What time to be alive?
yeah, so he's saying, oh, all of these artists trying to get ahead in their careers, I've got so much opportunity, why are they shitting on me? Like, that we shouldn't shit on people who potentially are able to give us opportunities.
Yeah.
You know,
I got
I'm
these
not about
things
that.
called principles.
Yeah, he could help us all out if we weren't shitting on him.
Principles do make me miss out on some opportunities. I'll give him that.
Well,
I want to star in one of his movies.
But hey, you know, I've always said that that's the difference between a successful artist and a failed artist.
that's the difference between a successful artist and a failed artist, guys.
And I think that this Comicsgate, this whole thing with Comicsgate, whatever it is they're doing, I think they're impeding their own careers. You know, I don't particularly like that I have to convey a particular narrative or message when I'm in Hollywood. But I also like to work. And so, in the interest of working, I put out a specific message. Why? Because I like having freedom and I like having money. And I like not being the enemy of every human being around me. I like not being ostracized and tossed out of wherever. Yeah, sure. Is that unfair? That's unfair. It's absolutely unfair. I have a friend, one of my closest friends.
Like, he just talked himself in a big circle there, innit? Like I said,
He
that
just talks shit.
Is that unfair?
yeah.
Yes, it's unfair.
and
He has a friend, you guys. I didn't realize this, that I missed him claiming he has a friend. Oh, shit.
I had a
Shocking
friend
revelation of the evening.
once.
His name's also Matthew.
I had a friend called Matthew.
His name's Matthew Berdyck, too.
I like to think that I have successfully failed at art. So I'm a successful failed artist.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Critical Blast
Revelation of-
says, in the interest of working, I put out. Didn't we hear about that job last week?
Oh, no.
We sure did. Winchell says, Matthew has connections in the comic book industry. Tell him, unless he knows Liam Gray, you aren't interested. Man, how long have we been going? Because I need the toilet again. Like, I swear I'm telling you.
We've been going almost 2 hours now.
Yeah.
We're only like halfway through the...
He said, I'm coming out of the closet. I'm a Trump supporter.
God damn.
And he lost his business within a year. I mean, they boycotted his ass and destroyed it.
The elephant.
So,
And
I
I
think
thought you paused the video. Seriously.
We're still going.
Carry on.
So
All
his
need to put
best
on-
friend got his ass boycotted.
For being a Trump supporter,
Oh.
allegedly.
Ask her face when we go to work, don't we? You know, I don't walk into my job if I'm working in a professional situation. Like, what the fuck's going on, man? Let's fucking go on a fucking adventure. Let's all fuck this.
You
job
don't walk
out.
into your
Fuck
job,
you, fuck your
period,
mom.
dude.
No, that's true.
I mean, fuck your dad. I don't walk in there saying shit like that. I walk in and say, hi, my name's Matt. I act professionally. And so these people, these comic book artists, they don't want to act professionally. They want to act like pieces of shit. And then they want to complain when they can't get hired or they can't get work or they can't get some opportunity. And it's like, well, you just don't want to play the game. I don't want to play the fucking game either. But I got fucking grandchildren and I got kids.
I got
and
plenty of
so
work.
it's important for me to play the
Those
game.
are-
That's
And I
how
got
life
to
works.
be
It's how you play the game.
me.
Words.
Right.
But I will note that we are now many minutes into this, and this woman is not showing
And I have
up. Now,
custody
she's-
of my kids.
was just going back and forth and jousting with me and telling me 95% of the things I say are not true, and she's not showing up. Why not? Where's Commi3 Mark? Where's Piper? They got what they want. They want to have a talk with me. They want to hear my side of the story. I'm giving them the opportunity right now. I'll give them the opportunity in the future.
You got what you want, guys.
Because, unlike them, I'm not some troll, and I'm not some coward. I'm not afraid to answer tough questions. I'm not afraid to even be laughed at. I'm not. That's not the kind of stuff that might impact them in some way. That might hurt their egos. But we're adults. I mean, I am. I mean, Piper's almost 40 years old. She acts like she acts like a 14-year-old. And, you know, if she wants to act like that's fine, that's cool and all. But don't sit there and
Oh,
call me
crap.
out.
Okay, so
Don't sit
he
there and
got
tell me
my
you're bad
age
pretend that you say
finally
it's
in
not
there.
true. Giggle, giggle. And then not have the courage to guts and show up and answer to that claim. So come on in. Come on into.
What did I miss?
That's because I kept giggling about you in
Nothing.
my sleep, man. It was great.
To the space. And if I'm being unfair in any way, if I didn't warn anybody in advance, you guys can send me a tweet and say, we would love to talk to you at this time, but can you act like adults? Are you capable of doing that? Are you capable of...
So, Matthew is saying, if we give him a date and time, he'll come on, but we have to behave like adults or whatever. And obviously, if he comes on here, I have complete control over the show, like, and I could do anything, like, you know, I can mute him, I can put a filter on him to make him ugly or old, or, you know, like, I could do anything. So if we are gonna have a discussion, I think that it should be, like, in a third-party place. Like, you know, with, like, a moderator or something. And obviously, I don't want to be accused of bias or whatever. You know, I could get someone with internet clout to come and be a moderator, but they would probably...
We'll see if we could get Eric to fire back up, monetize your haters, and get you two on there, man.
Well, no, so...
Get a good audience.
Anyone that we choose, Matthew Berdyck is going to say is biased towards us. So my offer to Matthew is we can have a debate any time, as long as there's a moderator, and he can choose anyone that he wants out of the 300 million Americans. Like, if he can just get one person to come and be a moderator, then we'll definitely do that. But I don't believe that he knows one person who's also... He knows more than one person, but I don't think there's any other single individual in the world who believes everything that he's saying. No, I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
and it
saying.
can't be like his spaces here where he just fills it with sock accounts that don't talk.
There are people who you could get to do that. People who are anti-CG who would probably host that.
Uh-huh. Maybe.
Aside from his super famous, amazing, high art comic, that's way better than all of ours, he doesn't really have anything to do with CG. He wants to, really bad, but...
Well, he certainly
that's what
did
I'm
last week. This week is trying to back out of it. Like, but last week he was definitely trying to, like, drag Comicsgate people into the fight, which I didn't do at all. If anything, I protected him from the community by not replying, like, when he was trying to do that or whatever. Let's carry on.
of talking with another human being and
That's what I say.
because this all started
have
because the
custody
guy
of mine.
Pardon?
He sits there and says, I'm a grandfather and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have custody. I have kids. I'm got to act like an adult. And I'm like, I actually have custody of mine. So.
It's a low blow.
Well, he said his was like 28 years old, so I don't think he has to worry about
He's
custody.
never had, from what I've looked into, he's never had custody.
According to Peter in the chat, he's 48 and has a 27-year-old son with 3 grandkids and a daughter in another state.
Oh, wow.
Which, obviously, I wouldn't ever have mentioned. Matthew Berdyck is the one who brought up his children for no reason. Like, not me. I
And
didn't do
private
that.
children as well.
Yeah, but in
People
response, he already put them into the discussion in it. Remember earlier, in the previous video, he said, my son's 28, and he's not one of these people who grew up on the internet like Commi3 Mark, the fucking child. Like, we raised him properly. Like,
isn't capable of doing that. He's a piece of garbage. He's a careless piece of garbage that started a bunch of madness and drama in everybody's lives because he also fell for Ross's bullshit. He was never grown man enough to actually talk to me or try to work this out. I gave him 5 fucking months. I think I was more than patient. I let him say fucked up things about me for 5 entire fucking months. I didn't say a word to him other than send him one polite message. He said, I didn't want to deal with it. And so, are any of these
He's on about Critical Blast there. Critical Blast has his own website.
Oh, that's why he tried to insert himself into comic stuff.
So Critical Blast, there's a review of the documentary, like on his website, that called Matthew a narcissist in the article. So he's going after Critical Blast now, like, and is gonna sue him, like, and he got his comic book signing cancelled, like, and all kinds of like drama.
people who are allegedly
Doorknobs
so
are fun.
intelligent?
Comment in chat is kind of funny.
Yeah, I pointed that out, and that's what he went, because there's a B in LGBT, and I'm like, you haven't started using that until now.
Yeah.
And he said that queer is a slur, and that's what the Q stands for. Like,
Yep.
Made in Hell says Critical Blast isn't here. Just reminding us, thanks.
And eloquent and educated, so expert in all of this and all this and all that, and these brilliant.
We definitely did not at any point say those things that he just said.
Want to deal with it?
Come on.
Yeah, he's still on about
Any of
Critical
these people
Blast,
who are
I think.
allegedly
This part. This part includes us.
Oh,
people
any
who are
okay, yeah.
allegedly
So intelligent, eloquent, and educated.
intelligent, eloquent, and educated. Like, the main driving force of last week's episode is I have the IQ of a rock. Like, I was agreeing with him the whole time. Jan, you've heard me say it for 4 years now. Never underestimate how stupid I am. Like, is that not like a long-running mantra, like, of what we've been doing? At no point did I ever claim to be intelligent or eloquent or educated. Like, I'm a pleb.
so expert in all of this and all this and all that, and these brilliant artists and whatever it is they claim to be. Are any of them intelligent enough to have a reasonable or rational conversation, or is that well beyond their level of intellect? Because I simply don't have any fucking patience for stupid people. I myself am not an unintelligent person, and so I have a tendency to be impatient with people that are stupid, and I happen to have a tendency to laugh at people that are stupid. So in general, for you to fall for Mr. Ross's scam to begin with, you've got to have poor logical reasoning skills. You've got to have some element of stupidity in your personality. You've got to have some lack of intellect to even get roped into it. And then you've got to be a certain level of sociopath to engage in it and participate in it.
Is that a triple negative? I am not an unintelligent person.
That's only a double negative. But yeah, that's
So Kiwi Farms found this one, because that's the only way I found it. Was it got sent to me later by like two, 3 people. Because I would have had to be sitting there on Twitter watching this dude's account
watching
to
the
see that he was
space
even
of a
doing
guy-
one.
Watching the space of a guy that you don't even follow, like
Yeah.
that would be right.
That's why I would have to sit there on his page and refreshing to see that that he was even doing one. So it's like, why isn't Piper here?
I am calling. I am calling out Meghan Markle right now. Like, we're gonna give her some time. We're gonna wait for her to appear. And if she doesn't, then she's being
It's pretty great that
defeated
you're
as
giving
Yeah.
her a platform to speak, to defend herself.
Yeah. Well, no, if she doesn't
And what
show up,
bothers
it's
me, I think,
obvious
sometimes
who
is
it
they
was. Because we just...
say things like, well, he's a social justice warrior. Well, do you know there's a
He was quite triggered by me calling him an SJW. Like, we had to explain in great detail, like, how SJW doesn't mean, like, left-wing or liberal, like, that it's a pattern of behaviors which include hiding behind your intersectionalities and trying to get people fired from their jobs for things that they say on the internet, like, which is exactly like the 2 key things about him, which is why we covered him on my blog in the first place.
another term for social justice warrior, and it's called just being a good person. So you're out and you see a person that's homeless.
This part's boring. He's just trying
That's
to say that
exactly
he's a
what
good-
SJWs say. It's just confirmed he is.
He said the meme, didn't he?
Mhm.
Oh, being on the right side of history, Piper.
Yeah.
All right.
Waiting,
I'm a
and
bipolar
she is
filmmaker.
not showing up. Now it's not hard just to get on the space on your phone. It's just
No, I was
you
sleeping
can log
really
in, and I
good.
can sit there and I can request you.
Hang on, we've got an important question from the chat from Shifter. Says, does Piper bleach her armpits?
Oh, am I supposed to?
I don't know.
Is that a thing I'm supposed to do?
Do you bleach your armpits, girl?
Winchell in the chat says, lucky for Matthew, Mark is patient with stupid people.
Right. As you can see.
That was a thing. We did the show on Friday. On Saturday, I was ready to do another show because he reacted so explosively, and we could have done that all week.
But we're on ignore.
Yeah, because we're on permanent ignore. Yeah, he's still.
We're on permanent ignore. He does not care about what we did.
And give you permission to speak, and then you can speak to me live, and you can call me out right to my face for all these 95% of things that I have failed to prove to anybody.
I thought he was going to say 95 viewers then, but no viewers.
You say, well, he says he was a gallery artist when he was 17. Where's the proof of that? Well,
So that's one of the claims from last week's episode. He said that.
Oh yeah, that he made in the chat.
When he was 17,
It's a 17-year-old
that
gallery
his art-
bipolar artist.
he said that his art was toured around America in galleries and stuff.
well, you could go to my Facebook and you could scroll
Nice.
all the way to the first photo that I ever posted, and you will see my Scholastic Art Award Gold Key, which landed all of my artwork in the galleries. So my work is posted there. Obviously, we're talking the year 1994. There's no internet. It was kind of hard to document things back then, but that award is posted on my Facebook. I went,
Okay, so has anyone ever heard of a Scholastic Gold Key before?
No, but
Elastic.
Yeah,
The only time
but I've heard of it in terms of like going with books, not art galleries.
I'm gonna have to.
sounds like
skip
some
ahead
Billy
a
Mitchell
little bit.
shit. Like I'm the greatest video game player of all time.
Fucking hell, it's so far in the future. This is a Scholastic Gold Key, apparently, that Matthew Berdyck shared. Like, this is his evidence that his art was in galleries. I don't know how well you can see it, but this doesn't look very well cut. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not super great.
It's molded plastic, Mark. Which is
It's certainly not solid gold, is it? But the people who win
The thing
those,
of his excuse of in 1994 there was no internet. It's like, yeah, okay, but there was like newspapers. It wasn't like we were communicating via smoke signals before the internet. Things were documented.
I looked into it, and it seems like about 300 children per city won one of these keys on it. Like,
Oh
so
my! So
it's
this
not-
is the same as me saying my poetry has been published because it was chosen from my school and published in a mass collection.
It's exactly
twice.
the same. Exactly the
Yeah,
same. You
wow.
nailed it, yeah.
I'm a published poet, you guys.
300 kids per city.
I forgot to put that on my resume.
Maybe it's per state. That's still not amazing, is it?
Yeah, I mean, even with that, that would be a couple thousand.
Yeah, but you're using the fake 300 million number instead of the 300 million that
Call it
Matthew
tri-million.
Berdyck exposed.
Try me.
The tri-million, yeah. All right.
but have a reason to make that up.
It's like a quad.
And then, hey,
Quadrillion
I was a
decimal.
child prodigy musician. Why is he trolling about that? I'm not. There's videos of me playing guitar and drums on my Facebook profile at an extremely advanced level. So that was
He is good at playing guitar and fine at drums.
When he was a child? Does he
I know.
have
He's
that?
got fans that are also named Matthew that post his videos.
Oh yeah. He's famous for that. He's got other.
It's crazy.
That's cool though. I also don't like the whole go to my Facebook because I already said like, or bring it somewhere else. Like, why do people have to go digging through your shit?
He should be in Guinness World Records for like the Matthew to have known the most Matthews like in the world.
But is this Matthew or not Matthew? I'm so confused.
This platform is not Matthew. He was invited on to speak.
Like I don't go to Facebook. I don't want to go to Facebook. I'm not that old.
Doesn't he have a TikTok channel?
Has he answered any questions yet?
Well, no, he has. He's addressed one of our claims. The one about his work.
Trolls live.
Yeah, we're at the part now where he's gonna give us some answers. He just gave us the answer about his artwork being in galleries. It's because he won the Scholastic Gold Key in 1994, and I showed you the evidence, so it's definitely true.
Yeah, so that's part of his 95. You know, that's why I didn't say 100%.
Had anybody asked him the question of, actually, did you have any of your work when you were a minor in art galleries?
Yeah,
our chancellor was a chess champion when she was a kid.
Jan, we didn't need to ask him that because he just volunteered that information to us. Because, like last week, I was convinced that we was doing inceptions into his delusions, right? Like a bunch of comic guys showed up, and then he was like, "Actually, I'm best friends with Sergio Aragonés." Like, and it was like, actually,
yeah, it was the first time I ever heard the comic claim that he was a way more skilled comic artist and way more known.
And I even said on the show, I said one of the things that I considered doing in the week was making a clean Twitter alt account and making it be about basketball, right? And then going and challenging Matthew Berdyck with that account, and then listen to him tell us about how he had trials like for the Chicago Bulls in it. Like that's an actual like reference that I made in last week's episode, and you'll see some evidence tonight of that being inceptioned into his not quite in the way that we was hoping, but you'll see what I mean.
It was never a flex. That was never me bragging. Like maybe to you that's bragging. I'm just an artist that is good at really most art. That's the way I was born. And so the results of my career, all the accolades and all the things I've accomplished were the result of my artistic skill, which happens to be just genetic. That means I was born and I was gifted with certain talents and gifts, just like this bitch can draw and this guy thinks he can write. I have certain gifts and I just was born with a lot of them. Hey, what am I bad at? I can't.
Genetics.
What a curse.
Fuck me.
It's like a curse having this much talent.
It's like an X-Man. That's what he's trying to say.
It's like God bestowed this upon me as a responsibility.
He's so famous and talented. He lives out of an SUV.
He was endowed with greatness from birth.
Excellence.
Mark's most formidable opponent yet.
Put a basketball in a hoop. Do you hear me bragging about my hoop skills? No. Do you hear me talking about I can throw a football quarter? Just like this bitch can draw.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
This guy thinks he can write. I have certain gifts, and I just was born with a lot of them. Hey, what am I bad at? I can't put a basketball in a hoop. Do you hear me bragging about my hoop skills? No. Do you hear me talking about I can throw a football quarter mile? No. Do you hear me talking about how fast I can run the 50-yard dash?
Like, he couldn't even come up with an example that wasn't the example that I'd given, like, in the show. It's funny. Demon Vizirac says, God's chosen soldier, Matthew. Yeah. Yeah. Good comments, guys.
No, because I'm disabled. So I'm not good at everything. I'm just really good at art. Why that would be a reason to attack me, I have no fucking idea. And considering the fact that I was born disabled and I'm still disabled, it'd be a goddamn miracle that I achieved all that shit in the first place. I was told I was never going to achieve anything in life, and so it's a fucking
So hold on,
impressive feat.
1 sec.
I'm
'Cause this is my first time hearing-
bipolar filmmaker.
This is my first time hearing this far in.
Uh-huh.
So he claimed to me that he was disabled with PTSD. So he was born with PTSD.
I was born with talent.
Born in Nam.
Trauma from his past life.
The only
Like, and I actually am. That is what I get
I'm an artistic savant bipolar
disability for. Is
disabled filmmaker.
the
the
only
PTSD. But yeah, he
the
told me his disability was PTSD and that I was a horrible person for giggling on a stream.
The only way that a newborn baby can have PTSD is from the parents having sex while pregnant, and it like and you know, it's just like
Traumatized.
there is no other way to have PTSD as a baby. Like that's it. Yeah. So, do you want to see some of his comic book
I'm a
history?
victim of child trauma, bisexual.
It's amazing art that he got discovered for,
and
is way better than anything we could ever do, guys.
you have to understand that last week in the chat he was really talking up this art, like, and how great it is, like, and how
It took days for us to get him to post a comic. We kept saying, "Show us the comic." Then
Well, the Commi3 Mark comic was good.
that is true. That was some high art for sure.
it might be the highest art.
Mm.
Yeah, so here he is. This is from the chat saying, yes, I'm a comic book artist and journalist. Like, they're in black and white. He says he's a comic book artist. Like, he can't ever in future say, I didn't say that. Because here he
Child
is
trauma
saying it.
survivor, and bipolar filmmaker.
Okay, so the comic that he told us in the chat the name of the comic, Freakaholic, right? So we look into that, and this is it, right? This is one of his alter egos, also called Matt, because you know, very creative. And this is the book here, Freakaholic. Like, he's the art director of, not the writer, not the artist, not the inker, the letterer, just like art director and producer sort of role. Here is some.
So he hired people to make the comic.
Well, from my
essentially.
understanding, somebody else was already making a comic, and he just came along like and co-opted it into his own delusion.
Wow,
or
that's
whatever.
even worse.
So they weren't doing so good, and then he come in like Kane and White and like leveled them up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Put a little more blue in that sky. Can you make his hair look like he's got a little more soul glow in there?
I know Freakaholic was the animation that he claimed he that's why these don't look like comics, these look like
These.
You gotta make them rims gold.
This looks. I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm not slagging it off or anything. It reminds me of, you know, the episode we did about, I think maybe Andrew Tate's comic. Like,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
God!
was gonna say. It looks like Top G.
yeah,
G.
that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, it's got real Top G vibes about it.
This is terrible.
So this is some of Matthew Berdyck's actual artwork. This is a logo that he done for Captain Nemo's Sub Sandwiches, which is a restaurant in his local town that, you know, he did as a child prodigy or whatever. Billy, you're the art critic today. What do you think of this?
It looks terrible. mean, I guess it's memorable, and I would think it's kind of quirky going into a sandwich place that had that like on their stuff, you know. But
I think it's cute for a local place.
yeah, it definitely has that like small town feel. It's just like, look at us, we're like small town, and you know,
Also looks like he drew it on a napkin.
yeah, somebody's kid drew, somebody that paid for this kid drew this, you know,
Disabled kid.
disabled child.
The child with PTSD. The baby.
I like that they still let the captain drive the ship even after he had a stroke. So as well, this is Matthew Berdyck's famous viral webcomic called Ned and Edna. Like,
And he says he lives off of the like the money he makes off of this comic. He makes big bucks.
Yeah, this is what funds his van lifestyle, this book. Not the journalism, not the being a, what did he say? Assigned national news videographer or some bullshit.
Bipolar filmmaker.
Activist as well.
Activist, child trauma survivor.
Oh God, I like that. Matthew Berdyck is an award-winning artist. That piece was what won him 3rd place in Miss Hoffman's 3rd grade art competition.
I got a Scholastic gold key.
Yeah, like the local school had a logo competition. Like I've seen school do that.
This
A golden key was bestowed upon me from the Scholastics.
this particular comic isn't particularly funny. Like, it's not a good enough joke. Like,
It's called self-reflection.
It's definitely lacking in the poo-pass department. Like, I think that would really punch it up.
Definitely needs more poop.
Yeah. I have... Oh, here is the tweet that he shared of the invoices that he gets where Meta pay him for his Ned and Edna comic book. Now, maybe it's like a UK America thing, but do you receive invoices when you get paid? Like, isn't like an invoice when you request that somebody pays you? Are these not the receipt? Are these not the invoices for his?
Yeah, the invoices are
advertising?
bills, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
So
You
this
submit an invoice.
exactly. This doesn't prove that you get paid. This proves that you pay Facebook for the 35 likes that you get over there.
Yeah. Also, these are all like replies, and there's no monetary anything. So I'm like, how does that show that you actually earning all these books?
This comic's hilarious.
This is a blank one that I've made that I'll share.
Oh.
Like, for
I thought it was just long, uncomfortable pause for 4 panels.
Is this lost?
I'll put this one out there for people to write their own Ned and Edna comics, and we'll read those next week, like at the end of the show. I've got some Matthew Berdyck memes that we made / collected this week that we'll end with. Next week, maybe we'll have some more. Who knows? There's his gold key again.
I was bestowed a golden key.
We're back to here.
That I managed to accomplish pretty much everything that I did. Yet the world wants to shit on me. If it was 35 years ago, I would have been in People magazine. They would have said disabled person overcomes adversity, and I would have been some special issue of some fucking
That's
magazine.
right. I'm disabled, bipolar.
Wait, hold on. And
Survivor
this
of
is what
childhood
ultimately
trauma,
what it boils down
award-winning.
to right here, and why he's a narcissist is because it all boils down to he believes he deserves special attention
Mhm.
for one of these qualifying things.
That's what I mean. Forrest Gump got a movie. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't.
That's why he's pissed at Aaron Brockovich, because she got attention. She got a movie made about her. he wants to be one of those people so bad. But he sucks, so it's not working out in his favor, and he's just pissed.
I absolutely agree.
So entitled.
I absolutely agree with your assessment there. Like that when I paused it, that's basically what I was gonna say.
Oh.
That remember earlier when I pointed out when he said about you, targeting all these cancer victims and they don't even know who you are. Like like why is that so important? Like that's
It's
the
very
same
important
as
to
this.
him.
Like why didn't I get this article made about me? Like yeah, you know.
It's why he tagging the news and everything he does and everything else. He just
Sad.
really
Very
wants,
sad.
badly wants that attention, that kind of attention. And it hasn't been working out for him. And he's getting weirder and weirder with it.
And we're giving him the attention that he wants.
I'm disabled.
It must be killing him.
Survivor of
Right?
childhood trauma.
I'm disabled. I'm all of these things. I'm
Award-winning
gay when it's convenient. Like, I'm a victim of all this stuff when it's convenient, but I'm not bothered when it's convenient. Like, a media hug. Yeah, that's the type of attention he wants really bad and has been trying possibly his whole life to get.
We'll find out more next week when he's here and we get to speak to him face to face.
He won't come next week. And
He won't show.
We've got Peter John Ross next week. Like we can't put them together because they've got like real legal beef or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, but it didn't happen until I was 32 years old. So, it doesn't matter if you're a child prodigy if nobody discovers you until you're in your 30s. What does that actually mean? It means that I was actually a really gifted fucking artist and I struggled for 19 years before I had success. Oh, did Matt have to overcome disabilities and go through all kinds of crazy fucked up things and live in... Doesn't matter if you're a child prodigy if nobody discovers you until you're in your 30s. What does that actually mean? It means that I was actually a really gifted fucking artist and I struggled for 19 years before I had success. Oh, did Matt have to overcome disabilities and go through all kinds of crazy fucked up things and live in poverty for 19 years of his fucking life before he even had a lick of success? Boy, does that sound like the artistic struggle of every artist, doesn't it?
I call it the 2-decade overnight success.
Mark, can you pause it for a second?
Yeah.
I think I now understand it, but this has been blabbering on for just word salad for 2 videos. But what he's actually saying there is almost what I had, and I'm pretty sure that we've all had it, where when I was at my school, I was top of the class creative. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're great. You can make anything. You can create anything." I'd make models and paintings, and the school would be like, "This, Jan's done this, and this is," and everybody, "Oh, you're really great. You're really great." And then I went to a very good art college, and I went from the top to pretty much the bottom of the class, and I went, "Fuck." And that realization that from a very small village school to being to the big world, to realizing that I wasn't the one in a million, that was a shock. But I took that on board and worked with that. What he's saying there is, I was a child prodigy and now I'm older. Why have I never got that?
Sure.
He may have been very good at his school and in his village or his small town, but in the big world, we're not all Andy Warhol. We're not all Picasso. And when you realize that, you can then move on. And it feels like that's still there with him and he can't quite get over that.
Yeah.
I think you're on the right tracks. He's specifically responding to. So I said how I was pointing out contradictions, like in his backstory. One of them was that he was in art galleries at the age of 17, and then another one is that his art was discovered by Sergio Aragonés in it. Like, and I was saying, how can you have been in galleries at 17 and then be discovered later on, like you was already discovered? So he's offered the scholastic key as the explanation for how he was in art galleries, which is fine. Let's accept that. That's fine. And so here he's trying to say that I wasn't discovered until I was older, meaning he's on about Sergio Aragonés there. But he's still lying, like, but that's the frame of his lie.
Not some artists. Some artists get big when they're 18. I didn't. I didn't get big until I was 38. I didn't have real true success until I was almost 40 years old. So I had success late. Why? Because I was disabled in most of my 20s. So I didn't have those opportunities that other people had.
Misunderstood.
How can you be disabled in most of your 20s? Like, especially if you was born disabled. Like, surely you was disabled for all of your 20s. Like,
You would think.
that would be consistent, but consistency isn't what we expect when dealing with Matthew.
And what did I do? Did I sit there and get on the internet and start shitting all over people? Because they had success and I didn't? Did I sit there and make videos trolling everybody and saying, oh, he thinks he's big and fuck him and we can take him down a peg and that's a big guy, blah, blah, blah. Did I do all that? No. No, I swallowed that shit on my shoulders. I really did have.
Nobody's done that, though. I feel like he wishes that was the situation.
He was like tapping into a bit of Eric July there, like without even knowing like what he was doing. Like he would do that, the kind of noise.
That's why I got my opportunities, because I wasn't a fucking butthurt loser fucking artist that was mad at everybody. And that's what you have to do. It's part of playing the game. So if you sit out there, like, look at this Piper lady. Great, she's written 2 comic books. That can't be profitable. I know how much comic book artists make. So because she went into this Comicsgate arena, what real opportunity does she have now to go into any other arena? To go into a mainstream audience? So did she herself fuck her entire career by becoming a part of whatever the fuck this Comicsgate thing is that I never even fucking heard of until Critical Blast came along? And
he also said on Twitter,
I didn't have a comic career until like
Critical Blast inform him of what was going on over here?
No,
I know writing comics is not my moneymaker. Editing comics is where the money's at. But I didn't have a comic career until Comicsgate, so thank you, Comicsgate.
Like and he's saying like, oh, how are you going to achieve your mainstream aspirations? Like as part of like we gave those up a long time ago. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that was part of the deal.
But the whole point of Comicsgate is that I wasn't interested in the mainstream.
You screwed yourself. You played yourself.
Yeah, when you need to be more like him and just sell the message that you disagree with, like because you like freedom and money.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how the freedom part works out if you're like beholden to someone, but
was that her choice to immerse herself into something that was going to impact her career for the rest of her life? And are all these videos of her giggling and laughing at people for being gay and bullying people for being homeless and bullying people for being disabled and all that, is that what's impacting her career? Is that what's causing her to fail? Is it that?
Is it, Piper? Do you think that's why you're failing? Or the giggling at homeless people and disabled people?
No, I'm doing pretty good. So I guess it's working in my favor so far. I should giggle at more stuff and people.
Demon Vizorak in the chat says, oh, he wants in on Comicsgate and is jealous of people who are laughing at his lunacy in it. I think he's given up. Like, I actually think that he's given up. Like, I think that we've defeated him. Like, I truly believe that he's not here in the chat and he's not going to come back and he's not gonna reply ever again.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely true. Like, I believe that.
He finally remembered to push the permanent ignore button or whatever.
Yeah.
So is it that maybe she's a shitty person and nobody wants to invite her in? At least I have the benefit of saying, listen,
Invite me
I don't
in
have
what?
any control over what.
To the industry.
Into the mainstream.
Ew. Because if they did, it would only be because I have ovaries or something. You know, it would be something stupid.
Don't
You're a
like-
menstruating person.
right?
Don't you want to go to one of these Diddy parties or something?
Bruh.
What this Ross guy says, and you can get to know me on your own terms, and you'll learn that I'm not who he says I am, and that's what happens with people. And Peter will go out there and say, everybody that he meets gets harassed. That's not true at all. I've got thousands of fucking fans on Facebook that have been there for years.
So, from what I've seen on Twitter,
Does he
Single
though?
bipolar filmmaker.
Because he can't get any fans on Twitter.
no, he has no following on Twitter at all. Like, even his alt accounts don't like his tweets. That's how bad his
Yeah.
tweets are. Like, Peter says, I highly doubt his attention is focused anywhere but this video. No, I think he's distracted doing some master carpentry again. Like, I didn't get the screenshots of the master carpentry, but you should have seen these wooden boxes that he shared as
right.
evidence of how he's a master carpenter. Like, they look
He nailed
like
a couple boards together. He's a master carpenter.
It could have
I'm
been built
basically
by a
genius.
beaver. Like, I've seen more impressive beaver things. Never said what. Yeah, and he claims to have thousands of fans on Facebook as well, but we've seen no evidence of that. But it's hard for us to check because we don't use Facebook because we're not boomers.
Yeah.
I've had 56,000 engagements in the last month. I will show you the numbers
To
if
be
you want to see
fair,
them.
I will log
And not
into
one of those fucking-
my work account to like one of my own personal tweets, just because it makes me feel good to see the heart thing.
Remember to like this video.
Yeah.
Person has a fucking negative word to say about me. All I do is sit there and make them laugh all day long. So it's almost like all the people that join up and they want to laugh along and they want to have fun and they want to hear jokes and they want to smile and they want to have a good day and they come into my life and they say, that's what I want from Matt. That's what they get back. But it's almost as if these people that come in and say, hey, I want to fuck with this guy. I want to turn him into a rabid animal and have a battle with him. Well, that's what they get back. So it turns out.
Hold up.
that what you make-
Hold that up. Back up a little bit. That's exactly what we got out of Matt. Was we wanted to laugh and we did. We wanted to smile and laugh and have a good time, and we did that. We accomplished that. That is what we got from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. I don't know what the rabies and all that shit's about, but you have fun with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I mean, my feelings are really hurt. Like from him doing all. What's the animal?
Day, and they come into my life and they say, that's what I want from Matt. That's what they get back. But it's almost as if these people that come in and say, hey, I want to fuck with this guy. I want to turn him into a rabid animal and have a battle with him. Well, that's what they get back. So it turns out that I am what you make of me. Also, it turns out, because you know this, that if you hang out with me long enough and you talk to me enough and you spend time with me, you realize that I'm actually a pretty chill and cool guy, which is what most people figure out. So I believe that I've
I think
absolutely
he's been
100% waited long
pretty
enough.
chill on Twitter. His dunks were funny.
Yeah, he's quite likable.
Everybody liked him except for those fellows at that damn IHOP.
Patiently for this woman to show up, and she has not shown up. Now she sat there and she called me a pussy, and she laughed at me, and so now I'm giving her her chance to come and talk to me like a
Can I
real
please have
fucking
just
human
that
being.
cut of and she laughed at me.
She laughed at me.
He sounded so sad.
But
And she laughed at me.
there's a moment just before that I really like, where it sounds like he opens the window to the van and they're in the Arctic or something. Like,
Yeah, which is what most people figure out. So I believe that I've absolutely 100% waited long enough and patiently for this woman to show up, and she has not shown up. Now she sat there and she called me a
This
pussy.
woman, Jesus.
right
And she
there.
laughed at me.
and it, like, I just
Misogynistic
imagine
much?
the snow.
So
like,
that's from the
blasting
recording. I thought that was
thing.
one of you guys.
No, that's
Nice.
in there.
And so now I'm giving her her chance to come and talk to me like a reasonable fucking human being.
Left me.
And then she
Be a reasonable fucking human being.
you do it now. Nope. Okay.
Well, then stop being funny, man. Goddamn.
Peter in the chat says most chill people don't scream into their iPhones for hours a day, which reminds me of a question that I've had, and I'd like your opinion on this.
But he's a reasonable fucking human or whatever.
Hang
So,
on, so this is
yeah,
and
he's very chill.
This is a really important question because we've seen him shout, "I'm recording a documentary." Like he says, he's making a documentary about all of this, right? Do you believe that he has a laptop?
Yes.
I think that he's exclusively a phone person. Like, I don't think he
Yeah.
even has a computer, based on what I've seen. Like,
Well, I mean, when I say has a laptop, it means I have a library card and I can go use the laptop at the library.
maybe that's probably a desktop at the library.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah, that's the end of that part. So
Yep. Sorry, man, that I stood you up, but I had zero awareness that you were doing that because I was sleeping, and also you didn't actually like tag until you were done. So.
So this is a tweet that he put out, right, when he was pretending to be me. And all of this first part's gibberish. You don't have to look at that. Just look at this last sentence where he said, "No one knew who was stalking me," right? And then 25 seconds later, he reposted the same thing, saying, "No one knew who was stalking Matt." Like, because he's trying to pretend to be someone different in it. Like, and he realized.
You catch him a lot.
And so we was constantly like the only thing that we was calling him out on in the week was, are you Matt or are you Matt's fan in it? Like, he's stuck to the original first lie that he told, like, and held that consistent, like, all the way through. Here's another one. He's on about the IHOP incident. He said, "Well, since Peter edited out the part where I was punched and called an F slur in the movie, it's literally part of blah, blah, blah." And I said, "You and Matt both got punched." Like,
right?
This is the part where he was punched. He didn't like that. Like, he done like a violent threat, like, in response to that one. I done this tweet. He said something about occupying Commi3 and I said that he should be called Occupied by Commi3. Then he ran to his Twitter to cry, like, that he's being inflicted with extreme emotional distress and pain and suffering, even though we just listened to him for 40 minutes saying how much it didn't affect him. It was the
how not
weakest,
bothered he is. Yeah.
most ineffectual, softest attack that he's ever had. Like, that none of that bothers him because he's a Gen X, like, have been dragged for 12 years. Like, in
Child
fact,
prodigy,
you're actually helping
bipolar,
me.
disabled filmmaker.
So, you know, he done that. And then the fake Matthew Berdyck also disappeared.
Oh dear.
Oh my god. You think Elon banned him?
Well, no. I know what
I don't
really
know.
happened.
Drawing pictures of people with dew eyes so to their bum is probably not.
Yeah, that might be what got him.
No,
That
that's
might get you banned on some platforms.
Yeah, but not on Elon's free speech Twitter. It's still up.
Oh, sweet. I thought the comic disappeared.
What he actually did was just put on a different face. He's now wearing the face of Peter John Ross again, like, and he's changed the @ now. So what happens is that all of those previous tweets that he did in the last week are no longer attached to him. You can still find them through replies and stuff, like if you know what to do, like if you're looking for stuff. But if you go to just search for his name, like you won't find them. You'll get that this account doesn't exist anymore. Like so, good work. Good job we took all them screenshots. That's all I can say. So now his real account is back. He's not dead like the real Matthew Berdyck is. Now that it's 7 days later, his account is back. He's said, "Oh my god, this guy has been tweeting at me all week, desperately clamoring for attention. Bro, I don't even care about your show. It's not funny or interesting or creative. #comicsgate." And he said, "Bro, you've sent me like 700 tweets this week, and I keep telling you I'm not interested. Get the hint."
Now, clearly, this is something he should be able to prove easily.
It's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the receipt from the Russian bot farm, so.
When I got these tweets earlier, I was like, damn, that was a really good play. Like, so on his main account, clearly he's been banned for 7 days, and it's 7 days, like, and now he's back. And he did successfully get us to reply occasionally, like, to him for an entire week and keep us occupied. Like, he actually succeeded in doing that, and now has come back, and it looks like I'm crazy, which is fine, because it's only going to be 3 days, and this account will look crazy again, like, because he'll just be crazy again, like, because, you know, you can't be permanently pruning, like, Oh, okay, so seize the memes. Like, we're almost done. We're almost at the end.
Oh, thank God.
I can see that in Jan's eyes.
Damn.
So this is just some Matthew Berdyck memes that we made / collected, like, over the week. So here's the first one. It's a trade offer. It says, I received 1 blog post. You receive 500 replies, because that's what happened. Like, I wrote 1 blog post, and he'd done the most incredible, like, spur game. This was one that was on Kiwi Farms. Billy, could you read this one for us, please? Like, I know that you got this.
You are responsible for destroying hundreds of environmental causes affecting 700 million African American children over the course of years, colluding with corrupt public officials in order to cover up 300 cancer clusters. Are you facing racketeering charges? And your... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it's like. I assume that he's said that to you as well, Piper. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say the ending there is exactly what he said to me, colluding with whatever, cover up 300 cancer clusters and facing racketeering charges and shit.
and talking about Rico all the time as well, isn't it?
I'd fuck her.
Yeah, he got mad. He got mad because I flat out, he kept trying. He thought eventually, right, that the eyebrows thing was going to hurt my feelings. And I was just like, yeah, no, it's even better. I don't have any real ones. It's great. And I haven't had any real ones for this long because I lost them with the cancer. And that's when he was like, I can't believe that you threw that in my face when you're just personally destroying whatever, hurting cancer patients that don't know who you are and shit. And I was just like, bro, I just said the reason why I don't have eyebrows. That's it, man. Like,
Did you realize you were attacking a bipolar award-winning filmmaker?
who was born with PTSD.
Born with PTSD, survivor of childhood trauma,
Born with
savant prodigy.
Born with PTSD is a great name for an album.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to name my next ska band.
This is a Uno game. Back up your claims with actual evidence or draw 25. That's Matthew Berdyck with all his cards. That's a good one. I am Matthew Berdyck's fan, or I am Matthew Berdyck.
I apologize. I butchered his last name because
That's good. I like that.
I
one.
was not even paying attention to what I was typing.
This is where's the evidence? Where's the evidence, Matthew Berdyck? Where's the evidence? Like classic.
Don't laugh at him.
Classic Goose.
This says when you're trying to cut back on posting
When you're trying to
memes,
cut back on posting memes, but Matthew Berdyck won't stop doing crazy stuff. Why do you make me do this?
I
That's reliable. Billy's Billy.
That's good.
I think that's the best joke of them all. Like, because I am 100% willing to give him everything that he believes. Like, we will totally operate inside the world of his delusion, like, and still, like, win or whatever. Like, that's what we'll do if we have to. Like, because it's more interesting if he is actually a journalist and an activist and a filmmaker and a genius musician. You know, we're really taking on someone powerful, like a real 180 IQ genius. It's definitely a punch up.
Hey,
Yeah, which means it's
everybody!
fine.
Matthew Berdyck is a journalist, activist, filmmaker, genius, musician, comic artist, and master craftsman. See? Nobody cares.
He also did pilots for Cartoon Network and Adult Swim.
Award-winning, bipolar.
It wouldn't let me
disabled,
fit anymore.
Scholastic Gold Key Award winner.
Scholastic Gold Key participant.
Potential boat owner.
It'd been funny if it would let me
Potential
fill it all
boat
in,
owner.
and then just the entire freaking top is a paragraph.
I mean, the guy's just out here trying to...
Thermonuclear enthusiast.
God damn it.
He achieved greatness in the katana.
I forgot about that guy.
Excellence with the blade.
All right. I think there's.
While you were busy. Wait, go back to that. While you were busy being a journalist, activist, filmmaker, genius, musician, comic artist, and master craftsman, Matthew Berdyck also studied the blade.
Yeah, the other Matthew Berdyck.
The real Matthew Berdyck.
This is a repeat. Like, I made this last week, but I just loved it so much that I had to put it in again. Like, you know, this is all of his components, which make him into the super eco-terrorist that he is, with his high IQ.
He's not an SJW, though.
According
Yeah,
to
dope.
him.
He's definitely not.
Oh, that's
You
the
could
end.
remake that. You could remake that meme and just put genius, musician, bipolar, filmmaker, disabled. You know,
Child prodigy.
and it would be just as funny still. Just all compliments. You know, accolades. Well, damn, this was a long show.
It was.
It was fun though. Whew.
Yeah, we have fun here.
I hope that Matthew enjoyed the show. Like, it's a shame that he's not here for us to offer him the chance to come on. Not that we was gonna do that. Like I said, if you want do a debate, get a moderator. It's your choice. Pick anyone on earth. Get your number one fan. Like get your grandma. Anyone. Like bring anyone. Obviously,
son.
go and follow all these dickheads on Twitter and stuff. I'm talking to the chat, not Matthew Berdyck. Don't you worry about that. Like, you don't have to do any of
Don't
that.
follow me, please. Please don't follow me.
Yeah. So, Jan, are you ready? Like to take us out?
Yes.
All right, hang on. Let me resize you.
And every stop I make, I make a new friend.
Oh, I'm in mirror mode.
All right, go on then.
This is the bloody hell, it's so late, so tired. This is the found poem from the show where I've taken little extracts out. Matthew been fucking, am I right?
Starting strong.
Thank you. I would have given women tongues in their vaginas because of a pancake incident. Cheaper than a pizza. The threats to kill people, that's not standard. Potential former boat owner. forplebs.org. Commi3 Mark and the arse of poop. It's only him talking to himself. That's brand new information. Some of my best poops have been on fishing trips. The infinite milk glitch. Flaccid. That's why I drew on my shocked eyebrows. Poop hat. She drives a magic bus. I had a friend called Matthew. It's called being on the right side of history. Trauma from a past life. This woman.